Turn back the hands of time, my darling, you would be mine. Hello. This live today is called The Dangers of a Pick-Me. Now, I've been wanting to do this live for some time now, and I saw a few things that were very disturbing this past week, and one of them being not just men, who are trying to justify the harming of this young lady that I have up here. Hey y'all, I went to go get my charger. But not only men trying to justify the harming of this young lady, but women who carry misogynistic thinking and misogynistic ways about them. And I named this live The Dangers of a Pick-Me because, let me see, it wants me to pin my goal or whatever. So it's just very dangerous, the rhetoric of the pick-me community, who align themselves with the problematic men or the red pill way of thinking. Okay. I promised this live on Monday. I took a break on Tuesday, and now I am back on Wednesday. You said, ladies, set your standards and stand on them. Lady T Goddess, I totally agree. To be honest with you, this whole week has been a shit show on TikTok. And, you know, her situation went viral. And I'm pretty sure the whole world has seen this by now. And to me, it's really embarrassing. It's really, really embarrassing. Yeah, the bricks and her getting hit. That's right, TikTok Dre. And it's a lot of men, you know, like you, who agree with her being harmed. You said, Lady T says, do you watch Shira 7? Yes, I watch Shira 7. I have watched her. And I think that a lot of her teaching is beneficial for women not to be used or to become, you know, not to get swindled or whatever. But I think that she should add a little more substance. Peace and blessings, me and my three. I think she should add a little more information. Now, I'm not sure if she, you know, informed the women to like take care of themselves. Hey, Jenny, or to learn how to protect themselves against men. I don't know if she's ever recommended self-defense classes, but I think along with her teaching, Shira 7, she should definitely recommend self-defense courses because just because she's able to get away with certain things because she has a certain look about her, right? We all know that lighter skin is deemed as more attractive in the world government, right? Um, I think that she should recommend for women to get self-defense classes along with her teaching because it could be very, very dangerous the way she's teaching these girls how to do, you know what I'm saying? You said, especially if they don't know how to, like, you know, handle themselves. Says, you would have to buy her books for the extra stuff. Okay. Okay, got you. Cause, I didn't want to assume that Shira just didn't really, add extra precautionary advice. That's why I asked. You said Nicole Rain says L word government. Okay. Oh, L word. Okay. Peter Boatwright says the full story is out. The full story is out. And what is the full story, Peter Boatwright? Because from what I've seen and what I have researched myself, um, everybody in the problematic male community, including the pick me, that's why I named this live The Dangers of a Pick Me. The pick me women are pushing a false narrative by taking a skit that she did with an older white gentleman, for both of them to make income and money off of the video, that they confess. They're using that video to justify those men standing there and allowing her to be harmed, you know. And I really don't agree with any of that. And that right there really kind of got underneath my skin because I don't go live on these kind of topics. I really don't go live on these kinds of topics. I really don't. Um, but this situation really got underneath my skin, especially seeing one of the young men who stood by while she was being harmed. And he made a video saying, pretty much I'm not saying she deserves it, but she deserves it. Men really do believe that, you know, we're not a part of them. We are not a part of them. They don't see us as their own people. They don't see us as um, anyone or any people worth standing up for or worth looking looking out for. And I've heard many a times in the male red pill community and just the problematic men community in general that in order to receive their protection, you have to be giving them kitty cat. You have to be allowing them to smack it, flip it, and rub it down in order for them to, stick up for you or provide any type of provision or anything like that. So, uh, let me see. Hi, Gracious Braids. How you doing? Hey, beautiful. Let me read some of these comments. Peter Boatwright says, let's fight against. Okay. Nicole says, so explain the story we heard. Okay. LS says, he says she had been counting guys all night. Had that she had been waiting for this one. Yeah, he says something like that she deserved it or something like that. Yeah. Um, you said women who use pick me to designate other women as undesirable do not support women's empowerment. Um, yeah, I'm not, I've never said any of that, so I'm not sure where you got that from. Bella says it's not right when anybody puts a hand on anybody. That's why in policy and life karma. Um, so what was the karma? Because she never put her hands on anybody. Um, she never put her hands on anybody. The guy just asked her for her phone number. She said no, I'm not interested. He got belligerent with her, and then she was like, "Yo, of course you're gonna react like what the fuck." And he picked up a brick and knocked her upside the head. Um, he was able to talk shit to her while those men stood by, and they're basically saying that she deserved it, and because of her past video skits that have went viral, um, from skits. They're saying that she deserved it from skits. She didn't do anything in particular that night to deserve it, but they're saying from her previous video skits that were acting skits. hmm Um, uh, El Chapo says, yes, she has. There's video. Yes, she has. There's videos. Um, there's videos of skits that everybody has confessed, every party that confessed that were in those videos, that they were skits. So I'm a little confused at what you mean by there's vids. So because there's vids of skits, you're saying that she deserved this to happen to her face. Y'all really telling on yourself. Y'all are really telling on yourself. And this is why I say dangerous of a pick me. Women that also push this rhetoric are just as dangerous as the men. That she deserved it. Very, very disgusting. Makes me sick to my stomach. Peter Boatwright says no acting. There was definitely acting. Um, the guy that actually spoke up, one of the guys, black men that spoke up from that night that sat by and watched, said, well, there's other videos of her doing skits, hitting a guy. But he confessed they were skits. You feel me? You get what I'm saying? Um, so I'm finding a little disconnect in what you mean. Is it because she's a black woman? Are you saying that she didn't deserve protection or something like that? I'm confused. El Chapo Curry says she doesn't need men, but wants those guys to protect her. Let's make that make sense. So, because a black woman or a woman in general says that she doesn't need a man, right? That she doesn't need a man to protect herself on a day-to-day basis. Y'all are taking that and saying that she deserved to get hit. I'm just a little confused. Trying to mix my words. No, you're just someone who is very confusing to me. To be honest. Because the logic is not logicking. Like the sense is not sensing for me right now. It just it's not. Um, Bella says, "Where is the picture of this guy that supposedly hit, or no one has it? Do they?" They're actually looking for him right now, and once they do catch him, I think it's in. Somebody mentioned Texas. I'm not sure. But once they do catch him, I do know that they're gonna slap what is those charges called? Attempted unaliving. So he has very serious charges on his head right now. And when they find him, he's gonna be tried for he used a brick. A brick is considered a deadly weapon. So I'm not sure if y'all are getting that if y'all are getting that correlation. Yeah, the charges will be attempted murder. Yes. So look at her face. Um, what he did to her could cause permanent brain damage if not properly looked at or properly assessed. And is it because is it because she's do y'all I have a question. Do y'all believe that black women deserve to be harmed? Because I'm just a little confused right now. Uh, yeah, y'all are not making any sense to me. She says, Lola, let go, blah, blah, blah. Nicole Rain, some of these people genuinely do. Okay, okay, and I can see that because I've only heard maybe about 5 men speak up, 5 black men and 1 white man speak up and say that they would have rocked his world. They would have immediately stepped in and rocked his world. All the rest of the men on TikTok, they're like, oh, she deserved it. And a lot of them are married. A lot of them have daughters. A lot of them have, young sons. And they're literally saying, like, if you act up, you get bricked up. That's all the comments that I saw. Thousands of comments of black men saying that she deserved it. And then they keep saying equal rights, equal lefts, which is insinuating that because black women have rights and because now they have to respect black women and women in general, that um, they can get beat up or something like that. That abuse is okay because now we have rights. So that's concerning in itself to me. King L says, not going to say she deserved it, but I'm not jumping in. Of course you wouldn't, because you don't believe that a black woman should be protected in general. I mean, it is what it is. Eric Cognic Johnson says, no, but I believe strongly that y'all shouldn't be stepping to a man as a man. She never stepped to him, so again, you're another abuser. Okay. User 995 says, Nicole, you are not refuting the fact that pick me is a derogatory slur against the women. What happened? Can y'all hear me? They shouldn't run their mouth. They have the biggest smile of all people. So yeah, the dangers of a pick me. This is what this live is about, right? And I actually pulled up. I've never hit a woman in my life. Okay, but it Lord have mercy. Okay, King L says she's not my woman or my family, so I'm not defending her. Okay, that's another confirmation that our you know. I mean, that's not surprising. I saw thousands of comments of married men and single men saying that they wouldn't protect women. Um, that's not a shock. Let me see. Let me pull this up right quick. Okay, I think this is one of them right here. Let me get the other one. Okay, so I pulled up some stuff, and if you would like to see this, just tap the screen and hit clear screen so you can read it all. Okay. So this says, this is showing how to identify a pick me, right? So a pick me is someone who criticizes women to be liked by guys, and this is a pick me girl. Says, you know that old saying, girls have got to stick together. For some ladies out there, this is not a top priority. Pick me girls care more about getting attention from men than giving basic respect to other women. So basically they have no respect for women. They don't like women and they have no respect for women, so there's no reason for them to show any human decency towards women in general. Says they may try to differentiate themselves from other girls, saying things like, girls are so dramatic, that's why I get along so much better with boys. Or, I could never be into that girly stuff like makeup and clothes. I'm just not really like that. Let me pull up the second one. Let me pull up the second one that I have. I got 5 of them. Okay. Uh, Number 2 is pick-me's have masculine interest, and male friends don't make you a pick-me girl. So it's basically saying just because a woman has male friends does not make her a pick-me, but they have male interest. It says people should be able to have the friends, interests, and passions that they want. If you meet a girl who's friends with only boys or likes video games more than shopping, that doesn't make her a pick-me girl. It's all about whether or not she patronizes other women. A non-pick-me girl might say, let me see, um, I'm so bad at makeup, so I never wear it. Yours looks so cool, I love it. So even though they don't do it, they're not going to patronize you because you do it. Um, or yeah, I would rather skateboard than go shopping, but that's just me. We could split up, and then afterward, you could show me all the cute stuff you bought. So there's no doubt putting down of another woman who is, who is an independent thinker. Let me see. Let me get the third one. Okay. A pick-me girl will make fun of other girls, especially around guys. Her goal is to look cool compared to other women. So when she's around other smart, fun, awesome gals like you, she'll try her best to drag you down. She may subtly try to embarrass you, make rude remarks, and all attempt to make others think less of you. So not cool. She might say things like, "Oh my God," Um, Let me put this. Oh my God, you're wearing so much makeup. Why'd you get so dressed up for this? We're just hanging out with the boys. Why are you going on about gossip? Girl again. That show is so boring and girly. Why are you ignoring Connor? So it's just a whole bunch of like patronization, talking shit and stuff like that. Talking shit. Okay, so a pick me girl will criticize her gender and classically feminine things. All genders can and do enjoy any topic, but some interests are historically linked to women, like fashion and movies about female friendships. Then there are the unfair, untrue stereotypes that women face, like they're overly dramatic or talkative. A pick me girl will reinforce these stereotypes to get male attention. Can you imagine waking up and spending an hour on your makeup every morning? Like these are things that a pick me would say. How pathetic. I could never. And they might say, girls are so annoying. I'm so glad I hang out with guys. Like anything to make, and you laughing. And yeah, pretty much they'll put you down at everything, every turn, every turn. Let me see. And then here we go. Right here. Some women project misogyny, and misogyny is the hatred of women onto others and even themselves. It says people are taught to judge and stereotype women from a young age, so much that some women end up doing this to themselves and to their own gender. So yes, pick me behavior can be harmful, but it's a result of a culture of misogyny, which is hatred of women, one that hurts pick me girls too. So it also hurts them as well, but they feel like they're so much less than, they don't, really care. So it says that's why it's important to show empathy. Okay, and this is the last one I'm going to read. It said you should never resort to calling someone a pick me girl. If you notice harmful behavior, try to gently expand the conversation without accusing this person. You might be able to get her thinking and help her change her ways. Maybe she said that liking makeup is stupid. Try this. Why do you think that? Makeup is fun. It takes creativity, and it's a very feminine thing. And actually, makeup is associated with femininity. So, you know, yeah. So I'm gonna go back to. I had pulled this up because this lady right here, child, in the Tyler Perry movie, she played a horrible pick me mom. Lord have mercy. She had sold her kids and everything to her husband just to live a good life. Like it's crazy. Where is it? Where is it? Come on. There we go. So back to the screen. So I just had to go ahead and explain that first before I started the live and to show that I got information on what a pick me is. So yeah, that's what this live is about. It's about pick me's and the dangers of them, how dangerous they can be. And I have the lady on the screen up top from Medea Family Reunion to kind of give an example of the horror, the tenth power of being a pick me, right? The tenth power of being a pick me is this right here. A woman who is willing to do anything to keep her cushy life, to uphold patriarchy and hatred of women. If you've ever watched Medea's Family Reunion, her husband, who was very wealthy, who was a multimillionaire, he wanted to be intimate with her 12-year-old daughter. I think she was 7, but I'm Lord have mercy, 7 or 12, I don't know. But he said, "Do it, or I'm leaving you." And he had a prenup, so she really couldn't get anything. So she prepared her daughter, bathed her, put makeup on her, and allowed him to harm her for many years That right there is ultimate level pick me. And that's why I'm holding this live called The Dangers of a Pick Me, because it is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And if you get lost, hey, what's going on, T Marie? What's going on, sis? This live today is called The Dangers of a Pick Me. And this really kind of sparked my interest as a topic because over the past week, I expected the men, the problematic men, to say that this woman up here in the bottom right corner deserved to be harmed, right? I expected that. Unfortunately, I did. But I saw a few women who said the nastiest things about this woman right here and even used a false video to say that she hit the man before he hit her when she never touched him. All she did was say no. So these are the dangers that would pick me, okay? Because they will even lie about the things that happen or transpire in a situation, you know. He said, Ayo, Nate says, bro, using the Urban Dictionary. I sure am. I sure am. And it says, this reads, a pick me is a woman that is willing to do anything for male approval. She will embarrass or throw other women under the bus to achieve this goal. The unfortunate thing about a pick me is usually the men they are trying to seek approval from are of poor quality. Um, and treat women badly, leaving little real benefit for the pick me. Yeah. So I made sure I had this definition up there so it could further explain my topic. Let me read this comment. Honey says, yes, we understand the dangers of pick me's. Can you connect that to our safety? Can I connect that to our safety? Well, I don't know if you just came in here, but I just explained, and this is why I have this woman up here in the top right corner with this man. Now, in this picture, she is whispering to her future son-in-law. She's whispering to her future son-in-law to hit her daughter if necessary, if she gets out of line. If you ever watch Madea Family Reunion. And she is a woman who will do anything and everything for male approval, even to the point of allowing her children to be SA for years just to keep her cushy, multimillionaire life, right? This is the ultimate. This is the ultimate level of pick me, and this is why I have her up here, because this is how bad it can get. You have some pick me's who only talk about women wearing makeup and how bad it is or whatever. Um, and you have women on TikTok and on other social media platforms saying that she deserved this. Now, when they do this, they're only doing it for male validation, and they're actually kind of downplaying themselves and saying that they themselves don't deserve to be cared for or protected. Because if they become in a situation with one of those men who they're trying to please and they harm them, they've basically written in stone that they also deserve this treatment as well. So they're also a harm to themselves, and that's what this live is about. I had a few over 30 women who asked me to have this live because they feel like it definitely needs to be talked about. And so I'm here holding this live. Mm, 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 mm. So yeah, I sat in a live not too long ago, and it just repulsed me. It repulsed me, baby, because to see another woman perpetuating this. See, pygmies do more harm because pygmies are also mothers, right? And they're also, if they have sons, they're also pushing this misogynistic way of thinking on their sons. Um, they're teaching their sons that they deserve entitlement because they have, an instrument in their pants, right? So in turn, a lot of men feel entitled to women's bodies. Also, it perpetuates SA and DV against not only little girls but little boys too. If a woman is a pick me and she has a son, say this woman up top of here in Medea's family reunion uh had her the husband that wanted to sleep with her little baby girl, right? She say she had a son, and he said, if you don't allow me to sleep with him, I'm leaving and taking all my money. She would allow it because she's so desperate to keep her position. She's so desperate for male approval. She has very, very little esteem, self-esteem, and she has a lot of lack of respect for herself. She would allow him to harm her boy too. Those are the dangers of a pick me. All right. Hay says the pick me is also lowers the bar because they have no standards and make black women feel entitled to every black woman. Yeah, that as well. Or you mean black man feel entitled to every black woman? I agree. You say king. Oh, I don't know. Black men feel entitled. Yeah, I agree. They definitely do. I think all men feel entitled. Honestly, to be honest with you. Um, I've had the same experiences with white men as black men. So all men definitely feel entitled. All men for sure feel entitled. Anthony, who are you white? No, you're black. Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay. That's the thing. Like maybe you don't, but a lot of the men that we've dealt with felt they did, you know. So you have to clarify, no, I don't instead of no, we don't. I survive says, so why say all men? I survive, say, why say all men? Look, I'm not here for to make you feel good about anything. If you're not that type of man, then you shouldn't feel any type of way. If you do, that's on you. I'm not here to coddle you or make you feel good about anything that I'm talking about. I was asked to have this live by women, and I'm here for the women. Yeah. Um, Let me see. Lovely says, "Girl, your life seems to have attracted a lot of black men. They are trying to disrupt." Let's see. I wouldn't call them flies, but I would call them um bothered, bothered for whatever reason. Oh, no, no problem. I promised the live, and I'm here. I'm here for it. I am here for it. And if anybody wants to come up, they definitely can to talk about it, for sure. But this definite, hold on, let me see. You here for women, but not holding her friends accountable for not helping her, but expected strangers to listen. If you're not the type of man that's about that action that wouldn't have helped her, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. Um, what happened to her still stands. It was wrong, and he shouldn't have taken a brick and smashed her face up just because she didn't want to give her number. Regardless of what you're saying, you know, she said great background. Thank you. Regardless of what you're saying, that still should have never happened to her. And that's what really made me realize that a lot of black men on this app would never, ever, ever defend a black woman. Um, and most of them had already said, "Oh, unless I'm sleeping with her, I'm not obligated to protect her." I've only heard 5 black men and 1 white man say that they would have rocked his world, okay, and they wouldn't have allowed him to escape. But the rest are saying she deserved it. Most of the men who are saying she deserved it are married and they have sons and daughters. Um, I read thousands of comments, and that just further tells me that I need to go ahead and protect myself. I need to get self-defense classes. I need to learn how to box. I need to learn how to carry mace, and I probably need to learn how to pew pew. You know, mhm. And recommend the same for my daughters because I see that a lot of the men in the community are very, very misogynistic. They hate women so much. They don't like women at all, especially their own women. So, that reinforces for me that I have to take the proper precautions to make sure I'm up to par, that I will be protected, you know. Quinn, you said that's not true. But have you seen the thousands of comments of married men and single men saying that, she deserved it though, you know? And they even laughed at one of the women who met this guy on Bumble and he mutilated her in his home and they laughed at her. I mean, hundreds of thousands of black men worldwide were laughing at her. So I don't think men would I don't mm-mm. Hello.
Hello, how you doing tonight? How you doing today? How about that?
I'm fine. I got a good workout. I done weight lifted and everything's good.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, I'm gonna just put my little input on the situation. I'm not sure what happened, how it happened. We only getting some of the story, but in all actuality, the man shouldn't have hit her in the face with a brick. Period. In all actuality, we all as males know that women can't hurt us that bad to where you got to hit her with a brick. But some of you men are just weak. Some men are just weak to the point that they can't take a no from a woman. You know what I mean? They can't take it. Like so, you know what I'm saying? So, but if that was my fault, you know what I mean? If it was even if it was somebody I didn't know, yeah, I'd have had some rap for him. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have just went down like that. Like, and that's just real stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Because in all actuality, I got a mother and a sister. So
Mhm.
therefore, I wish a man would dare put their hands on my mother or my sister or anybody in my family. But you know what they don't understand is she can be a distant relative of theirs. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. But we don't know the full circumstances. We just knowing that, she said he asked for a phone number, but we don't know what the circumstances are really around the situation. You know what I mean? What really made him go to the point of hitting her with a brick? What did she really do for her? You know what I mean? We don't know these points. You know what I mean? We only know what was told. You know what I mean? What did she do to create the situation? Because she could have said no and just walked away. Period. You know what I mean? But something tells me something else went on. You know what I mean? For him to go as far as hitting her with a brick, that wasn't just for a no for a phone number. I don't see that just for not a phone number. You know what I mean? For a brick, not for a phone number.
Well, there are attempted unalive charges that will be put on the man who did it. So
Right.
that
Right.
says enough for me. Um,
Right.
he ran um, after he did it, so obviously he knew he was wrong. He had to know he was wrong because he fled the scene.
Right, right,
Um,
right. Well, but like I said, I'm not trying to, I'm not defending his actions. I'm not defending, you know what I mean, none of that. But like I said, as far as a brick, that's a little bit, you know what I mean, that's a little bit out of the ordinary for a man to actually hit a woman with a brick. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think that, any moralistic man would hit a woman with a brick. You know what I'm saying? If if he can hit her with a brick, how would he like it if somebody would hit his folk with a brick, his mother or his sister with a brick? How would you think his reactions would have been?
all I know is I did watch the video. She did not put her hand paws on him at all. the young man that even came out and confessed that he was there and did nothing about it said that they didn't step in because of her past skits and because she does skits. Sometimes she does skits to go viral, and they tried to use one of her viral skits to justify her being harmed just for turning down a man and not giving her number. Um, he did not confess that she hit anybody or anything like that. He just said that he's not doing it because of her past skits. So
Hey,
at the
Stretch, come
end of,
on up, Stretch. Stretch, come up, Stretch.
yeah, and the thing about it is, it's like I think I think we're going to have to, um, as women, especially black women, because we have no privilege whatsoever. Um, I think black women are going to have to start questioning black men when something happens to them before they go and protest and for before they go and do fundraisers to help them, because every time something happens to a black woman, you all kind of have the same thing. You all say, well, what happened? What was she wearing? What did she say? um I think as black women, if there are any black women in the live, we should definitely start asking black men, well, what did you do? What were you wearing? Um, what was your criminal history? Because if what we're doing unconditionally by helping our black men in the best way we know how is not being reciprocated, I don't think we should do it, you know.
What you got to understand is as well, all black men is not like that. So you can't look at what he did and then throw everybody in the same pot. You understand what I'm saying?
What the hell? Wow.
But yeah, you can't put all men in the same pot because of what he's done. Everybody has a fault in every religion. I mean, in every race, everybody has a fault. So you just can't say it's all black men. You have some stand-up black men. You know what I'm saying? You just have some black men that's just not built for it. And that's
But
just what it is. Like,
you're the thing is you're kind of I don't think you're okay, so what I hear you saying is we don't know the full story. What did she say? What did she do? What transpired before it, right?
no, my whole thing is like this. I don't think she should have been hit with a brick, period. Like I said, the brick should have never came into play. But my whole thing is like, don't put all black men into his shoe. That's what I'm saying.
But
That's his shoes.
I think that black women should, especially with the history, with our history, um, statistically, especially since we have social media and we're able to see everything that's going on and how our love is really not reciprocated when it comes to our men. So I'm saying, as a black woman, from what I analyze and what I've seen for the past few years on the internet, is that what we do for you and how we love you is definitely not reciprocated. A lot of us would never ask, well, what did he do? Well, what was he wearing? What happened? A lot of it we don't do that. Black women don't do that. Only black women do that to black women. So, that would be my recommendation, is to find out what kind of black man it is before you go and help them. That's all.
I mean, that's
Um,
that's. I mean that's only right. You don't want to just be helping anybody that can be doing wrong. You know what I mean?
right. So, just like, with the George Floyd situation or whatever, right? Nobody asked about his background. He had an extensive criminal history. Yet, you know, the black women were able to rally together and protest for his injustice. He didn't even really date black women. So they didn't say, well, he doesn't date black women, so we're not gonna fool with him. You know what I'm saying? They put everything as hello, Edwards. Hi, Stretch. Thanks for coming up, y'all. So yeah, my thing is they helped George Floyd, and then in return, a lot of the black men, a huge hundreds of thousands of black men, just kept criticizing their sexual preference of the black women who started the organization. Um, I think 12% of black men after that voted Republican. There was a lot of red pill conversation. Um, there was a lot of perpetuation or the pushing up for the unaliving of black women. I'm really not sure why. There was a lot of colorism going on TikTok. I don't know if you remember. There's actual articles, news articles on it, where young black boys and black men were making fun of darker skinned women on the internet. Um,
But
it's just been a
but you
lot
know,
of
like I said,
negativity.
that's but that's for some ignorance. You got to say that's for some ignorance, because like I said, that's not all of us. Because a lot of black men appreciate their queens, and that's just what it is. Like, you know what I mean? I appreciate my queen, so I'm not going to sit here. Like I said, you have a lot of ignorance out here in the world. We can't excuse that. They're going to be ignorant. There's nothing we
Can
can
I
do about
can
it.
I
But the only
can
thing
I
we
say
need to do
something?
is stick to.
I'm sorry. When you finish, let me know. And I don't want to cut you.
No, no, go ahead. I would just, go ahead, go ahead. It's all
No, I was gonna say like basically the whole like, okay, one, I'm gonna say this: fuck George Floyd, F George Floyd, George Floyd, whatever, right? Because that's a terrible example. Like what's Floyd? That's just a listen. That was a political agenda. That is BS. Okay.
You have a, I don't know who has an echo. Maybe you gotta go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's like an echo.
Okay. So George Floyd is a terrible example to try to bring in this situation right now. Right.
Hmm.
Also, that that lady, what she did is disrespectful, and everybody got to stop thinking that all black men is going to protect all black women. Also, if you know history, if what you're seeing right now is causing you to have such a mindset about black men, right? I'm born in 1981. I was raised by my great great grandmother, right, and my great grandmother that also tell me a lot about history. Then who the hell are y'all going to run to? Because everybody has treated black women worse, no matter what it is, and it's not as worse as how people are looking at our black people are looking at it, like especially when they see the media. That's a propaganda. It is not true. The narrative that black man is just so inherently violent to all black women or majority black women. It is not true. It's a select few. But also, like everyone is making the talk about the protection and all of these things. Women, black women throwing away their protection from black men. Okay, you're doing that. Who is going to protect you? Who are you going to run to? Remember, black men didn't say that they didn't want to protect black women. Black women say they don't want black men
Oh
protected.
no, no, they did. They definitely do every day on this app. Just
Listen,
last night, hold on, just last night, all week long they've been saying it.
yes,
They've been saying it for the past year actually. They say
but
if
mommy,
we don't,
but
if
we've
they're
been hearing.
not, hold on,
Listen,
sir.
yes,
I'm the host. I'm talking. Okay,
go ahead.
so for the past year, they've been saying if we don't sleep with them or if we're not in any intimate relationships with them, then we don't deserve their protection. And if we don't submit to them, um, we don't deserve their protection. They've been saying this for like over a year now. Or family. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Or family.
I'm
Ophelia Baker
forgetting
says, or family.
what
Yeah.
to do. I'm telling you that I've been working this stereotype from way longer than a year.
You keep breaking up,
Listen,
Edwards.
the stereotype has been going on for way longer than a year of black women saying,
Edwards, you keep breaking up. You might
can you
okay.
hear me now?
You might have to go to your settings.
Yeah, can you hear me? All right,
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I might have to. Okay.
You might have to go to your settings and then turn off the Wi-Fi and turn it back on and then come back. But like you can stay in the box and do it too. Who is this? Who is this? Hello?
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
A little better.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Can we hear from Stretch right quick while you get your stuff together? Just go
Yeah, yeah,
swipe
man. I
out.
apologize about this, but
Just swipe out and then go to your settings and go to Wi-Fi, turn it off and turn it back on. That's all. So I wanted to hear from Stretch. What's going on?
Oh man, can you guys hear me good?
Yeah, but it's a little muffled. You might have to like
All right,
remove
hold
your
on.
hand from the
I'm gonna.
phone. Yeah,
Is that better?
kinda. But go ahead.
All right. Well, my thing with this whole situation, no woman deserves to get hit, abused whatsoever. You
Period.
know, but the thing is with a lot of like men that they were sitting around, they said they watched this happen. I think that happens because a lot of times when men try to approach women, it's get away from me, you creep. You
Well, you
know,
do the same. See you tomorrow.
you
Right.
know,
You need it.
back away. And then it's like, okay, well, we'll back away. That's fine. Get your piece. No means no. And
Okay,
then
so
something like,
you're saying that since so they're holding a grudge for women rejecting them, so they just go
no, it's
back.
it's not. I wouldn't even say it's a grudge. I would just say,
Okay.
okay, oh well, get away from me, you dusty. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, oh well, then you get hit. Oh well, come help me. And it's like it don't go like that. You
Well,
know, I, and I and I and I'm not like I said,
it
I'm not.
went like that for black women for a long time for black men, but I promise you it won't go like that anymore. I
And then you got to
promise
think
you
about it
that.
like this: those other men probably had girlfriends, wives, kids at home, and for them to step in and to help that woman out, or whatever the
Yeah,
case
I
might
get
be, and
that.
something happens to that man, this is not. I don't believe this would be a story.
You
Well,
already did.
If you look at the situation, what was I think it was the Travis Rudolph
Hey,
situation,
bro.
the NFL receiver. The girl had
L
a
Train,
whole
can you mute
family
your
come to
mic?
his
I think
house.
are you on the other line or something?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
All right.
The girl sent
Thank you.
all her boys and stuff to the man's house, and he ended up killing one person.
Say
And she set all
unaliving.
that up.
Say unaliving. I don't want to get banned.
Oh yeah, unalive. I apologize for that. I forgot about that. But yeah,
It's
she
alright.
sent all those men to the man's house, and the man
Mhm.
ended up letting shots off, and a man was unalive because of that situation that she had started.
She living
And
her
a
life
lot of
still.
she didn't get charged. She didn't get nothing. So it's like with little situations like this, a lot of men are looking like, whoa, if I try to help and something happens to me, what my family gonna do? I can't provide for my family because I helped somebody else out with a situation and stepped in, and now it's not looking good on my part.
They don't
Or
give a
if
damn.
or if your husband or
Okay.
something like that helps a woman out in a situation like that, and he gets beat up. I'm in Atlanta. I see people in the club all the time back in the day. They'll help a girl out fighting with a man, and they'll get stomped out, and then the girl still walks home with the man. We
Okay.
can't like ignore that stuff like that does happen, and so it's like,
Okay.
well,
So
damn, I need to
basically,
buy my
you're
business.
saying that because of different situations where bad things have happened, you're kind of scared to help black women.
What I'm saying is this: I wouldn't say they're scared, but they have more on the line. They have more on the line. Somebody just said Jonathan Majors. Everybody downplayed him, said he was beating on the woman. It turns out the woman was beating on him, and now he lost pretty much his whole lifestyle because of this.
Johnny Depp,
Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
The list goes on, and
football
we
players,
see
they
there
only
are
get
this,
more
robbed.
things that
and
could
we
go
like
wrong that could go right.
we see this, and we're like, we don't want to put ourselves in that type of situation.
Okay. So you're saying, okay, basically saying that because
The
these
woman could have
bad
walked away.
situations have happened, you do not and will not protect black women or women in general.
That's
No,
See the
no.
way you're sounding, the
We
way
can
you're
I
will
say
sounding, it's
protect
like
something,
black
y'all?
women,
we don't
not
like black
every
women,
black woman.
Can I say
and it's
Okay,
like,
so Edward confessed not every black woman. Okay.
and
Yes,
it's
I
like,
don't expect,
like
but
okay,
it's like the
if
same thing. I don't expect every woman to have sex with me or care for me.
Mhm.
I have daughters, all the women family and my family members and stuff like that. If valid, proven that what it is that deserve to be protected, he's gonna get protected no matter what it is. But if
within
if
your
you're
household.
if you're a woman, if you're a woman and I see a man and your back is turned or you're not saying anything to him, you're not answering or nothing like that. Yo,
Right.
even that case, in most cases, yeah, you're gonna get protected in that sense because the man is gonna be like, yo, she's not doing nothing, she's not lipping off in the mouth. Or
This
worst case
woman
scenario, calling
antagonized the
911.
man. Not saying that that makes him right, but she definitely antagonized him. She wanted him to she wanted to see if he was really bad, if he was really gonna hit her,
Look,
and he told
she
her.
also is a
Okay.
man beater too, man. I
Okay.
seen
So
her, she
you're
was beating
saying
up on
that
some old white man, slapping a man up in the streets
That
and
don't
twerking.
that don't even matter. But when a woman steps to a man and wants to act like a man, yeah, other men are not going to step in. If you so bad, don't call for nobody help. Now, if the
okay,
guy walked up,
so do you know that those were skits?
I'm not even talking about her slapping. I'm not even talking about. We're talking about the situation. The guy didn't just pick up the brick and walk up to her and bash her in the head with it. He picked up the brick and walked up to her and told her, "Hey, chill out, before I crack you with this bitch." And she like, "Oh, you tough? Hit me with that bitch."
No, that's disrespectful, and that lets me know
What's
that you would do the
disrespectful?
same thing to her. So I don't want you
What's
here.
Hold on, host. Let
That's
me ask you
wild.
one second, host. Let me ask you a question. As a
Okay.
lady, right?
Hmm.
If I look at you and I tell you, don't do something, you're gonna die. And you look at me and you do it and you
Use
die. You still gonna
unalive, please, Edward.
no? Okay,
Thank you.
unalive. If I look at you and I say for your protection, don't do this, right? And you tell me I don't care what you say. I don't need you. I don't know all of those things. If you're gonna jump off a cliff to unalive yourself, why should I stop you and pull you back from doing what you want to do? You're doing what you want to do. We can't stop you from doing that's what the whole thing about understanding is like. It's not to say that black men don't want to protect or not going to protect. It's the understanding of what it costs to be protected. You think that the president of the United States, the most powerful man, can tell his security services or some of the least paid people in the military branch that they do not want, that he does not want their protection, or he can't tell them when to move or nothing like that. He can't do that. He has to listen to the secret services and all of those people. Protection comes in a lot of forms that the one that's being protected or wanting the protection has to listen. You can't expect a man to take a bullet for you if you won't listen. That's the highest form of it is you only have one life to live. You can't look at it and say like, yo, you're gonna get protection every single time. One man can just give you that one moment and that opportunity that he can unalive you. And what happens? You as the lady go home. Him as the man, he's gone. He might go to jail. You living on your life happily. That's how war was. Everything is structured and everything is looked through, and people are going to learn from past transgressions and mistakes and stuff like that. Men are not even going to go to war that much no more because all of it is pointless in that sense. But protection for women, no, not every woman is gonna get protection. I have two daughters. Not everybody is gonna protect them. It is my job to protect my daughters. If a man tell my daughters not to do something and they do it and they get hurt, it's my job because I did not teach my daughter the right way in understanding what protection is. That's all it is. And if women don't care, if nobody don't care, then women should stop complaining and just live with what happens and the consequences. Because when men face those consequences in life, nobody cares about us. Right? Nobody cares
Okay.
about us.
So basically, you're saying protect black men over black women. Got you.
No, no, no. That's this. You're still missing what the point
No,
is
I'm
saying.
not. I'm not missing the point. This
Okay,
is what I'm
life is
hearing.
okay. No,
This is listen. Hold on,
it's called selective hearing. You're selectively hearing it.
Edward.
Where did I
I
say?
am the host. I don't care if you have a dick in your pants, sir. You will be quiet when I tell you to, or leave. So you can't tell me what I know and what I analyzed and what I heard from what you said because that's how I processed it in my mind. What I hear is you're saying it's too risky to protect a black woman or
So
a
I
woman,
just said
a
to you that
woman.
I have two daughters. I
Don't
said to you I
okay,
have two
bye,
daughters that
Ned.
are black.
Get off my
You
panel.
are dumb as fuck, boy.
Get off my
Fool, you
panel.
was
Get off my panel. Thank you. If anybody does that while I'm talking, they will just leave. They'll go. Yeah, because this is a
Let me know
serious
when I can chime
situation.
in, darling. Let me know when I can chime in.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm 55 years old, and I'm going to give you guys a piece of what used to happen back in the days when we were coming up. We always protected our women. What happened was, and I'm going to give you a scenario, is I went out there, me and my brother, and we saw a man punch a woman in her face. And we got on that man and jumped on him to restrain him, number one, from hitting her. And in the process of doing that, she jumped on our back, cut me down my side with a razor blade, talking about don't hit her. This very man that just punched her in her face. So when it happened a lot throughout the years where when we tried to protect women, they protected the person that was abusing them. So now we start to think, why am I putting myself on the line when this woman 90% of the time is going to walk away with this man that just committed all this stuff to her? I'm not saying that what that guy was something was going on with that guy for him to just do that, because the times have changed where none of these kids respect anything. They don't respect women, they don't respect themselves, and that's just a fact. So when you're out there in this world, you have to be mindful of the situations that you're getting yourself involved in. And the reason a lot of men, I don't know, these young boys just don't agree, but the reason our older men like myself, we kind of step back in those situations is because of the experiences we have already had dealing with protecting women. Because if I'm going to protect you and I got 16 stitches down my back after a man just punched you in the face. So I always ask ladies, make sense, because those experiences that we have experienced is a lot of times why men say, hold on, first of all, I don't know what's going on over there. If I know what's going on over there, I could probably deflect it or de-escalate it. But if I don't know what's going on over there, there's a possibility that I might not walk away from that. So
Okay.
if you see that, now I do agree there are ways of help that they could have done. They could have went to their phones, they could have recorded, they could have called the police. There's a lot of things that they could have did in that situation to help that woman out with medical services, whatever it may have been. But when that guy picked up that brick, I can promise you there were a lot of people that really didn't think that he was going to hit her with that brick. But he did.
I
So
personally think
so
he
so
was.
so to jump in and say he pick up a brick and people are like, man, you can say, man, what are you doing? And then when he throws that brick, there is not enough time for someone to come and protect her from not getting hit with that brick. It just wasn't. It's just too fast of an action. And I've seen it happen over and over and over and over. But what I'm stating on this panel is a lot of men have experienced helping a black woman, and that very woman who was abused, jump on them for restraining their man.
I think they personally know the man, and they're protecting him. That's what I think.
No, you're right, but that experience makes you. Don't you think that makes you think and say, well, I
They're
don't know what's
protecting
going on.
him, but not.
I don't know
They're
what's going
protecting
on.
a man, but not her. It might. It is what it is.
I've never seen. In
Ask
my
a
day and age,
question.
no man
Go
protected another
ahead.
man.
Go
Every
ahead.
man had to fend for himself.
Do
After he's
you
finished, you can talk after he's done. Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, when I came up, men had to stand on their own two legs. We didn't look for our brothers to protect us because we had to do what we had to do. We had to figure it out. We had to understand our situations and what we were going through. Now, this new generation, yes, they got that homeboy mentality that's really, really crazy. I don't understand that. But for my generation, we had to figure out what we had to figure out because our number one priority was to protect and provide for our black women. Okay, but when all I'm going to say, and then you can have the floor, is when those men have seen those experiences, not just older men, but young men, there are a lot of men that have seen men help black women, and those very black women jump on them. So to go into a situation that you don't know whether they know each other, what's going on, I'm walking by, I don't know what's happening, that is a very tricky situation for black women to say that we won't protect them when we don't have no knowledge of what is going on from the jump. I'm done.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Who was the woman that's on the platform?
Hey, I'm Nine. Hey, host. Hey, panel.
Hi,
Um,
how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Managing.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you because I speak a lot about like the relations between black women and black men, and I do get on black men about their role. It's the same way that I get on black women about our role as well. But I wanted to ask you, do you think that there may be like a cultural like difference at play? Because I'm from Texas, and in Houston there's like a lot of subculture. So there's like you got like the Nigerians, the East Africans, the West Africans, the Caribbeans, and you got Black Americans, and you're gonna have all the subdivisions for like the white people too. Like they be broken down into like Irish, this, that, and the third. So when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know if I would say that this is like a black American man thing. I think that this was more so cultural, and I do believe that the culture, like the people a part of that culture in that little town, they know who that man is. They're obviously protecting that man. They have
Mhm.
spoken out. They said that they don't like this woman for whatever reason. That doesn't
They
justify her
don't they
being
don't
hit.
like her. They don't
That does,
like her because of her past skits that were literal skits. And they're trying to justify her being harmed by and them not jumping in from her previous skits.
and see, my thing is, I heard people talking about the skits. I really don't care about the skits, especially when it comes with her hitting white T men like that. I don't know why that would trigger us, but
It's because a lot of our black men are self-identify with white men. That's why.
so that wasn't. And I get what you're saying, like that. That's something that I'm gonna look into more about them identifying with white T men, because I didn't
Mhm.
understand why that would trigger us skits about her hitting white men. I don't get it, but.
Right. I had the same question too. I'm like, what? Why is a YT man doing a skit with a black woman? Why do you even care that he was play slapped?
Right.
Um, when he been slapping you for over 400 years. I mean, just confused. Um, yeah, a lot of our men self-identify with them, and there was a 12% increase in our black men who voted Republican in 2020. So they're self-identifying with the white men and going along with the red pill ideology. Yeah.
And see, and I can definitely agree with that part, but this isolated incident, I don't think that that speaks to black men in America. I think that that speaks to different cultures in America and how they treat their women, because America is a mixing pot. So I don't like to say like, and I understand all black people, we're birthed from Africa, da, da, da. Everybody knows the education. We all know that. But we can't deny that culturally we are a little bit different. So I don't, and I'm gonna keep it real, like personally speaking, and I understand that individuality doesn't breed productivity when we're talking about like everybody in general. But personally, I feel like the black men around me do protect me. But also I do know that in other cultures with their women, they're not going to be so ready to jump on each other to protect those women. So I don't think that this incident actually speaks to like the condition of black men in America. I think that black men in America do have some working on, but I don't think that we should say like black men need to protect black women, because they don't identify as black people. Like you ask them like,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. Our men don't identify as
they're gonna say like,
black.
I'm Nigerian, or I'm Somali, or I'm West African,
Oh,
I'm
you
this, that.
mean that?
Yeah,
Oh,
like them, like their whole.
you mean because they're a Negro from another continent, we shouldn't get involved with them. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
for lack of better words, because of cultural differences, right? So let's just say that we have a black woman from America fighting a black man from America. I don't think that I'm gonna see a West African man come up and help. it's very rare that they're going to help us. So I feel like we should keep our issues in house, and we should not intermingle our issues with other Black people issues that are not from America, because culturally there's a big difference between us.
I mean, a lot of the times, a lot of the times our black men actually like stick up for people in other cultures. I mean, for another example, um, Negro women from Africa, right?
Hmm.
The passport bros, right?
Right.
They're saying that they want to leave black American women to go and be with those women because they're so much better. Um, a lot of our black men identify as Jamaican, even though they're black American and they have
Hmm.
never been to Jamaica. Um, a lot of our black men actually prefer them over us. So that's why I'm just a little confused why now our black men are saying, "Oh, well, she's Somali, she doesn't matter." But
Well, it's,
y'all was just saying
so let
that
me
y'all like women from over there. Like
so
the fuck?
So, and I agree with that. See, that's the in-house problem that I like to speak against, because why, as a Black man, would you go date someone who's not a Black woman like you? We identify with you. We know who you know what I'm saying? Like, perfect matches. That's, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, so let's say that you have a Ethiopian graduating from college, right? Are they going to announce themselves, hey, I'm Black and I graduated with my PhD? Or are they going to say, I'm an Ethiopian, I graduated with my PhD? They're not going to identify as Black. But when it's violence, they want to group everybody into Black. But when it's
So
not having to do
are
with
you basically saying
violence,
she deserved it and that those black men were right not to jump in it?
no. Is that what you got, host? I know that's
Yeah,
not what you
I
got.
got that. I got that from what you were saying.
No. I said the
It,
disclaimer when I got up here that she.
maybe it's not what how you meant for it to come off, but it's
No,
definitely how it
well,
came
if
off.
I didn't, so maybe I didn't say the disclaimer on this live. Like I said, no one deserves to be assaulted. No woman deserves to be assaulted by
Okay.
a man with any object, not fist nor brick. That whole occurrence is absurd. We see absurd BS every day. And just because I'm having a dialogue that this is not directed towards Black American men does not excuse the injustices that she suffered. You know what I'm saying? So just
Hmm.
because I'm saying that we are misplacing our anger doesn't mean that I'm saying that she deserved for something to happen to her.
Hmm.
She absolutely
So,
did not deserve that. And what I think should have happened was the men in her culture who she surrounds herself around, the ones who have stepped up and are laughing and playing about the situation, a very serious situation online. I feel like those men who are not Black Americans should have stepped up in that moment. I feel like those men who, them Somali men that she was around, those East African men and all of that, I feel like they should have definitely stepped up. But see, that's the cultural difference that I'm talking about. Now, if it was a Black American man that had bust her with that brick, believe that I would be on here talking about Black American men have to do better. I did it when Sukiana was assaulted by YK Osiris on the set, and all them Black men stood there and didn't get on him. But I just think that this is like a misplaced anger. I don't think that it was Black men that are at fault for this, not Black American men. Because when we say Black, we thinking Black American. We're not thinking African. We're not thinking Caribbean. We're not thinking Hawaiian.
Okay.
so can I
Dad,
ask a question?
did you want to
Isn't
say?
Hawaii in America?
Yeah.
Well,
Can I ask a question? So,
they would be considered native,
Hold on, real nine.
indigenous people. So I just wanted to
Spaceport is
clarify.
talking, sis.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. That would be native though.
I have my question is: you said it's misplaced anger. Does this not happen to Black American women by Black American men?
So I said this isolated
No,
incident.
I know that's what you said, but I'm asking: does it not happen? The same thing. Does it not happen?
Did you not hear me say when YK Osiris sexually assaulted Sukiana? I was talking about that, and people wanted to downplay it because she was a whore. I didn't care about that. It happened. It was wrong. I just gave you an incident that I see. We have to stop selectively hearing what we want to hear.
I just had it was
She's
a yes,
asking
it
you.
was a
Hold
yes
on.
and no question. It wasn't. I wasn't saying you
She's
could ask the
asking
question.
you
No,
a
no,
question,
no.
real nine, and she just wanted you to answer it.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, I
That's
don't. I absolutely know that this happens to Black American women. I absolutely know that.
so the anger is not misplaced because the anger is not because it was Black American men. I don't know if you've been watching TikTok, but all these men have started taking her picture and talking about all the stories that happened to Black women and saying why it should have happened, why it did happen, why if they didn't keep their mouth closed. And these are African American men.
Mhm.
So the anger is never misplaced. It's just they're using her to put their narrative on Black women, so Black women are talking back. That's what we're doing because
Mhm.
it happens to us on a daily and they still don't believe us. There's a man in the comments right now saying, no, it don't happen to y'all.
And
Mhm.
see, when I take in what you're saying, I actually agree with you that there always are Black American men that we need to, like I said, we need to keep our situations in house. They're weaponizing this situation. I agree with that, and I feel like I said earlier, I speak about the relations between Black men and Black women. I feel like we both do these things to each other. This is not a debate about what Black men and Black women are doing to each other. This is a debate about another culture. But now, what are we doing? Internalizing it, being triggered, using weaponizing this to stab each other up over the internet. You know, the
But
typical
it's
things
not the argument is
that
not
Black
about
people do.
the argument is not about another culture because until if nobody, I have a friend who a lot of Somalians because I work with a lot of Somalians and Africans and Sudan, all those type of people, Asians and all, but a lot of them think my friend is Somalian and she's not. But just looking at her, they think she is. So if nobody would have said that woman is Somalian, nobody would have been
Nobody would
having
have
this
knew it.
conversation.
Well, see, that's the thing though, because I do research. I even know the race of her kids, and that's how I know that she's not Black. Like she speaks
Why?
about this, like on her
Why
page
did you do that? Do you
before.
like it when black when the YT men unalive
No,
our
why
black
I
men
did
and
that
black
is because I
women?
don't rally behind causes without research. That's any cause at all.
Okay, so my
If you don't
question
have
would
the
be:
research, then
when the YT men and the YT supremacist media takes our black men and black women and take all their history from when they was 5 years old and stole some candy and paint them as criminals, why is that what you was looking to do? Paint her as not one of us, so we don't need to talk about it? Because at the end of the day, she's still a woman, and I still feel like that about any woman. Don't deserve to be hit by a brick or anything, regardless of whatever.
and
And I
see,
think
that's
we're
the
getting
thing.
away from the fact
Femicide,
that
when we talk about femicide, because now we're getting into femicide, that's different, right? But we didn't make it about women being harmed because we said Black women and Black men. That's the thing. It's not about femicide. So it's not about just women in general. We're actually talking about who? Black men. But like I said, I believe that
So,
this is a cultural difference and we shouldn't isolate the situation to Black
may I
men.
ask a question when she's done?
Oh, go ahead. Go. If Dab is done and
Oh,
I'll
she's done.
speak after she's
Yeah,
done
no,
asking
I'm
the question.
done.
Oh
okay.
wait.
so
Could let Los go because he did ask
Hmm.
first.
So I would just say this before you finish. Let me finish before you go. I'm gonna just say this as black women because this is my stance on this. Black women protect black women, and as of right now, she is by government statistics. When she in this country, she's black.
Right.
So black
I
women protect
understand that,
black
but
women.
we can't deny that people. So listen, I understand the breakdown between race, ethnicity, and nationality, right? That's why at the beginning I said I understand all Black people come from Africa, blah blah blah. We get that, we know that. Everybody's educated here, right? But what I also said was we cannot deny the fact that people from outside of America, they go by their ethnicity and their nationalities. They don't say I'm Black. They're gonna say, "Oh, I'm Caribbean. I'm from
Did you ever hear
Guyana.
her say that?
I'm
Did
from
you ever hear her
Jamaica."
say that? Though? But that's the thing. Did you
Yes, yes. That's
you
why I
got
said
a
I went
video
to
of
her.
her saying that
Yes,
she's not black, she's Somalian.
yes. I went to her
Uh,
page. That's what I said, and I was looking at her videos. And in her videos, she says that she's not Black. She actually speaks a lot against Black people. But that's neither here nor there because I
now,
said
the
it
first
doesn't
video I
matter. She
ever
shouldn't have been
saw
assaulted.
from her, the first video I ever saw from her, and I follow her on my other page that had 30,000 followers. She um stated, I am still a black woman. That's the first video I ever saw. She said, I'm from Somalia, but I am still a black woman. She said, and you wish that I was mixed, but she said, all the generations of my family are black and they have hair like this. Well, she has nice pretty curly hair just like my sister. My sister has that kind of hair and we're not mixed at all. Um my hair is a grade probably below hers. But the first video I saw of hers, and that's why I really liked hers, because she flaunted her being black and she loved her blackness. And I've watched her for a while now. So I've never seen any videos where she's like, "Oh, I'm not black at
Did you see
all."
the video
Like,
where she was
yeah,
talking about her children, when she was telling us about her children?
she is a black woman. That's the point, real
Did
one.
you? No, I would say
So
that she's
I
black,
think
but
maybe
that's
you
not
kind
how
of
she
have a
would.
bias, but
Can
I
y'all hear
want to
me
let
or
somebody
no?
else talk, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, no, it's
Um,
not. It's fine. Did you hear what
com
I asked you though, host?
no, because I wanted to let Los speak and then the girl beneath speak because Los asked first and then she asked second. So what were you gonna say, Los?
So first off, I want to say thank you for allowing me on the platform real quick. I'm not really good at talking like that, but from what I've been seeing on social media a lot lately, is just a lot of division amongst black men, black women. A lot of things are being said, and I don't think everybody has like the full story on everything. I'm not sure if you've seen another video that recently came out on this situation with the two black men that were in the video that she recorded of herself in there.
Mhm.
Did you happen to see that by chance?
Mm, yeah, I've seen all of it, and I've also seen the skits that she did that they're using
Yeah.
to justify her being hit, right?
No. I'm not talking about the skits. Honestly, the skits don't even play a part into the situation. At the
Well,
end of the day,
the reason I'm bringing up the skits is because this is the reason why I started my live, The
mhm.
Dangers of Pick Me. There were multiple lives with a whole bunch of pick me's who were using her skits to say that this is what happened that very same night.
Right. I've seen the same thing, and I understand that those are skits and whatever. But I have seen another video posted, and it was of the two black men that were with her in that video that she recorded, and they were saying that they called the police and they stayed with her, and until the police arrived and the ambulance arrived, as they were coming back from the gas station.
Okay.
So, in a sense, I'm just kind of saying that there was a lot of misinformation as to from the black woman's perspective, it was like there was no men to actually help out or protect. In a sense, there was, right? And I also want to provide kind of a solution. In a sense, it might not be a foolproof solution for women in these situations, but there are apps that you can use, like a Text Now app and things like that, where it's basically like another phone number for you, right? If you're ever in a situation like that, it's called Text Now. You can use that if you ever in a situation like she was in, right? And you want to
Mhm.
get out of the scenario, you feel like he's threatening you, just give him a fake number. He'll text that number. You can delete the app afterwards or whatever the case is. That's just a solution I'm throwing out there. Um,
Okay. Thank you
no,
so
I'm not
much.
saying bow down to my solution. I'm just providing a solution out there if anybody is ever in that situation. Also, I do want to say though, I am in the military. I'm active duty Air Force. And another thing that I've seen is that people are saying, "Oh yeah, jump in, protect this woman," and it kind of sounds like they want people to be more physical in that aspect. In the military, even paramedics, whenever you're trying to provide aid to somebody, you're not supposed to go in the middle of an incident during the altercation, right?
Okay.
You're
And that's what
supposed
they
to.
teach you in the military?
Yes, ma'am. So you're not. So just for an example, right?
So you wait till after she get hit with the brick and then you go help.
No. So also there's preventative aid as well, right? But at the same time, you can't prevent something that you don't expect, right? Um, so basically, if there's a gunfight, somebody gets injured, right? You're not going to go in the middle of that gunfight and try to provide aid to this person. You're going to try to drag them out of harm's way, or just at least make sure that the scene is secure. Otherwise, how are you going to be able to help somebody if you're injured or you get yourself into that altercation as well?
And we get that, and that's what they didn't do. So we're not saying when we say step in mean you could have been like, "Hey, baby girl, come here."
Right,
You
right,
could have
and
been
I
like,
completely understand that, man. I completely understand what you're saying on that, in that scenario as well. But we don't know if anybody even saw him coming up with the brick or not. And if they did, then yes, they should have completely stepped in before it even got to that point. But
I
nobody
think,
predicted that he was gonna use that brick to hit her with it. Who's to say that somebody could have predicted that, right?
and I get that, but a man said this today, and I'm gonna repeat this because I 100% agree with him.
Hmm.
He said he did that because he knew none of them men were going to say anything. He knew he knew they wasn't gonna say nothing. He didn't respect them. He didn't respect them, and he didn't fear them. That is
So,
why he did that.
so
So
that
why did he run away? Why did
hold
he
on,
run
hold
away
on,
and get
hold
in the
on,
car and
hold
leave?
on, hold on, real
The
quick,
police.
real quick.
And
So
who said that? Who said that? The only or D Love?
D Love.
So if they was gonna do something, he would have never made it to the car. That's the point.
But
Right.
it's so fast. It happens. So he hits her with a brick and takes off running.
How do you know
What is
that?
your
We don't know that.
What is your expectation
He
of the
had to
people
find
there
a
to have
brick
done?
before he picked up a brick. He didn't have no weapon on him. He had to find a brick before he picked up a brick.
But
The
nobody would have ever.
situation had to be escalated before he even picked up the brick because they had to be sitting there arguing. Then he said, "Oh, I'm about to hit this lady. Yeah, let me go find something to hit this lady. Pick up a brick. Yeah, and go smash her shit in with the brick. Now I'm about to go run away so the cops don't get me because I know they're going to call the cops."
also
But
another
and
point
that's
Nah,
it.
brick
that
ain't
Real
that hard
Nine
to
was making
find.
earlier was that this is a cultural thing. It's not a cultural difference, bro. It's about human beings. You get what
There
I'm
you
saying?
Thank
go.
you.
At the
There
end
you
of
go.
the day, there's the
I wanted to
human
say something
aspect.
about the lady earlier too because she tried to make it as a cultural thing, and I feel like she is the very much definition of a pick me because she's trying to make black men pick her, and it's not working because she said we're weaponizing the the black men were weaponizing the situation, and that they're using this to stab each other in the back. So if they're using this to weaponize the situation, why don't black women say something to them? Why are you trying to sit here and weaponize this situation to make it seem like, oh, this is why all women shouldn't get help? So now black women need to speak up because y'all trying to make it seem like y'all trying to weaponize the
See,
situation. I don't understand.
and that's another point too. Is I feel like it's causing a lot of division, right? Because a lot of people they're not being mindful of their words. They're accusing all group of people and all of this group of people,
Generalizing.
just generalizing, and it's what's causing the division and all this chaos on social media and all
And
this
I say I
nonsense
have
that's
to
going on.
disagree with y'all because I think so. For example, I will talk about um, the conversations that these men have on this app. When y'all talk about generalization, I don't get mad when men talk about women with weaves. I just tell them don't date them. I now do I get offended and feel some type of way when men say single mothers are the reason the black community is failing? I get offended and triggered because I was a single mother. My children are grown now, but I was a single mother. So yes, I take that to heart because now you're saying I am ruining the community. So that's generalizing, right? But when I say men, that's not generalizing because if you're not that man, you shouldn't feel no type of way. If I say these men are out here attacking women and you know you're not attacking women,
Right.
and you, hold
I
on,
completely
and
understand.
but you as a man know that there are men out here that attack women.
Mhm.
And for
Right.
you to be upset about us talking about it, not you per se, but any man who would be upset about us talking about men who are attacking women for rejecting them is wild to me. You shouldn't be upset with us. You should be upset with the men that are out here attacking women and making women fear you. Because
But
I can't
that's
tell
not
the
the
difference
thing
between
though.
you and them. So now, instead of y'all being upset with us, y'all should be upset with the men who are causing women to fear all men. Because I
But
don't know the
that's
difference.
not where the divide is coming from though.
Where's the divide coming from then?
So I understand that you're not
She
saying
got on the
all
phone
men.
and started recording saying all these black men standing here ain't
She
doing
said
nothing
exactly, key
when I
word.
went
She
in the
said
face of
all
the
these black men standing here. She didn't say all these black men in America. She said all these black men
She
standing
made it
here,
about black
and
men. There were
because
women there.
they
Why
were
did she
black,
call on the women?
There were
because they
women
were black,
making it
they were
all
black
about
men
all men,
standing
though.
there.
I don't
There
think
were
she's
also
coming
women
out
There's
there in
saying
the
only
that,
two
bro.
video.
things you can
At
be. You
least
can
three of
only
them.
be general or personal. There is no way you can sit here and be like, oh, you could think somebody's talking about you if they be like, oh, I hate people with two kids. I hate people who don't have no husband and they got two kids and they be sitting here doing this, then the third to the black community. You cannot think somebody talk to you about you because you know how many people are single with two kids? Unless they are so
Bro,
personal to the down to the T where they're like, oh, I hate girls that name K and they got single moms and this, then the third, where they're describing you personally, then that's you personally. You can never think somebody's talking about you
bro,
unless they're
Space Bro
describing
just
you.
Okay,
said she
so
got
So
offended
clearly
when we
you
were
so
think
speaking
they're
about
talking
single
about you,
moms
correct?
the
Because they're
only
describing
motherfucker,
because
you.
she's a
so
single mom.
basically she's saying, there's no way that she could be talking about all black men if all black men weren't there. That's what she's saying.
Exactly,
Nah, that's
because
what
she
they're trying to
she
make it
clear
seem
no.
like.
So
I
the
heard that
the
part.
only
What
the
I'm
only
saying is
hold
that
on, B, hold on, B. The
it's
only you
no
said it,
different if
Hold on,
B.
B. Please mute your mic. She's speaking, sir. Thank you.
You on the I'm talking of the only. The only. You said she said these black men standing here. The key word in what she said was standing here. Those are the key words. So she was talking about the men in her circle. The men then got on TikTok, not those men, but other men who seen the video got on TikTok and started making videos and TikToks with her picture up behind them, talking about what she should have had a man with her, what she should have had her mouth closed, what she should have did this and she should have did this. So those men made it about all men. That's where y'all when
Nah,
that's why I have a problem when men get on this app and talk to women because y'all should have been talking to each other. That live should have never been about her. Those lives should have been about the man who hit her with the brick, not because she said these black men standing here.
that's
yeah,
the
They made
funny thing
this
though,
shit
sister.
because
about them. The
she
black
got
women didn't
mad
make that
because
about
She
they
them. They
focused
said,
made
on
that
the
about
other
them.
men that were standing
"Can I
around
say
her.
something real
Like,
quick?"
what happened to the dude
Because
that hit her with a
she
brick?
did say,
Oh
"Is
my
this
God.
how y'all doing it now?" So she
Y'all
took
not
Talk
out
gonna
about
change
those
them
the way
black
standing
people
men
live.
there.
and she said, "Is this how y'all doing it now?"
Talking about them standing there.
No.
Okay, so hold on.
Hold
Low,
on. We
low,
can't
low. I'm gonna talk to the
interpret
one who got some
one
sense.
little part and
Y'all will
then
not
make it to
talk. You will
something
not
else.
talk over her, and she will not talk over you, BG.
Los,
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna talk to
I'm
Los.
just trying to make a little point, but
So I
Los,
wanted
I'm
to
gonna
try
talk
to
to
I,
you.
finish
we
what I was saying
Okay, but
originally.
you have to wait for her to
Yeah.
finish.
Los, I'm gonna ask you a question. I don't know where you from, but anybody in the comment section or on the thing, if you in the country, I'm just because that's where y'all. Because let's be for real, that's how it started. It's a country slang. If you in the country and people say y'all, are they talking about every motherfucking body in the community in that country town when they say y'all?
Yes,
I mean, there has to be
it's a
more
yeah,
general
context, right?
statement.
Hold on,
yes,
hold on,
that's
hold
a
on.
general.
Hold on, let
All
me
my
just say
people is
something real
country.
quick
And when
because
we
I
say
think
y'all, we're not
space. I
talking
just
about
want
men.
to add something to that. I don't know because it's the context, right? It just depends how things are being said,
Okay.
right?
So
But
if
one
we're in
real
a
quick
group,
thing I really wanted to add though was I get that she may have not said all men in that video, but at the same time we got to think of it same way that certain men were out here, saying whatever it was on the internet about her and they taking it personally. We also got to think about all the women in these panels as well that were doing the same thing, right? It's talking about all men, right? All men, they weren't are not protectors. All men are this, that, and the third, right? That was also being put out there. As soon as that video was posted, a bunch of women ran to the internet. Not all women, but a bunch of women went to the internet and also were saying the same things that you're hearing men say about women. She shouldn't have been doing this, she shouldn't have been doing that. Women were also saying men aren't protectors, this, that, and the third. So that's what I mean. Like, there's a whole division. I'm not saying she personally said that all men
Listen,
are that way, but that's how
I
it's
just want
being
to say
interpreted due
this,
to the internet.
and I wanted to let Sage speak and then BG. Um, Women like me are already aware that we'll have to protect ourselves, right? From the things that men have let us know that we need to do in order to receive their protection, right? So we already know that we'll have to protect ourselves And we've been protecting ourselves, and gonna have to continue to do it from here on out. So I just wanted to let everybody know. We already know this.
I'm gonna say this one part, then
True.
I'm gonna mute my mic. So, like the people in the conversation said, if I'm in a room and I'm talking, it's 5, 6, 7 of us in the room, and I be like, y'all funny as hell. I ain't talking about the whole goddamn world. I'm talking about them in the room. Like she said, y'all right here. So we have. If I say all y'all, that means yeah. I'm talking about. I can say even with all y'all, I'm in a room with 10 people, and I say all y'all stupid. I'm talking about all those people that's in this room with me. That don't mean I'm talking about everybody in the world.
You're
So for
ignoring the
y'all to
fact.
be stuck on that y'all word is so funny to me. Because I
You're
literally
ignoring
had
the
to
fact
explain
that
this
it caused a
To
spinoff.
Africans, and it's weird that as black people we don't get that.
Come on, it's the effect that it caused. Everybody on TikTok talking about black man ain't
All
this,
right,
black
the
man
only
ain't that.
motherfucker
After the,
I wanted to
you know what I
let
mean?
Sage speak and then BG because they really
All
didn't
right,
get a
I'm gonna go
chance to
after
speak at
Sage.
all. No, BG is supposed to go after her.
Yeah.
Um, so my first issue is how some men are concerned about the actions of what that man does and how it's going to affect them, and their access to women.
Sage, you know I love you, but I have to address this. Z Mac, I don't know who you is, but you keep tagging me like you know me. You smack me with a brick, your ass gonna be laid down. And that's to any man who think he gonna smack me with a brick. So you better hope you lay me down first.
Oh,
Hmm.
wow.
I blocked them,
Damn.
girl. I seen that. That was disrespectful. I didn't. I'm not gonna tolerate men or women, problematic men or pick me queens to be disrespectful in the comments.
Um,
Go
so,
ahead, Sage. Sorry.
so my first concern is, some men, it just seems like when incidents like this happen, they seem to be more concerned about how it's going to affect them and their access to women. Um, like when the Megamind guy was going around saying all that crazy stuff, and a guy made a video about, ladies, please don't let this affect how you view other men. Um, I feel like a lot of them don't really care about
Mm.
how we're treated, but I think they care, you know, about how the actions of one man is going to affect, them if they approach if they try to approach a woman. Like, women are saying, we're scared when men approach us, and that we're going to get strapped and, or, get self-defense classes and all that. And that's going to make it more difficult for men to approach us. And, a lot of them don't like that, but they don't like it because, uh, it's making their access harder to us. Like, and I just wish men understood, like, if y'all would come together as men and deal with the problematic men, and actually did something so we women can be a little bit less afraid, maybe you might have an easier time accessing women, but that's just not happening. But that's the first thing I wanted to say. It just bothers me how, you know, men don't seem to care about the acts of violence perpetrated on women. They just care how it's going to affect them, or if they're going to be lumped in with, those men who perpetrate those acts of violence, because they don't want that, because again, like I said, it affects them getting women. And the other thing that I'm going to say is, it also bothers me that, a black woman can come out crying, because I've seen this happen more than once, and I've even seen black women do this, could be crying in the hospital with a swollen face. And the first reaction isn't to console or to make sure she's okay or make sure she's good and then question later. It's question first while, you see this girl who's either bleeding or
Mhm.
swollen. And that's what also bothers me. And I kind of project because I have empathy and compassion, but I think a lot of these men don't have empathy or compassion, and that, and some women too, because I've seen women do it. But
Mhm.
that's the second thing. And the third thing is, I think these men are scared. They're scared of other men. Like I feel like when men's ego, right? Their ego will never allow them to admit, I'm afraid of other men. I don't want to jump in and help this woman because of what this other man could do to me. Their ego will never allow them to admit it. So they're going to be like, well, what did she do to deserve it? Or she had to do something to deserve it. Or I'm only going to protect my family. Or I got to make it home to my family. But it's like a lot of y'all are not married. A lot of y'all don't have families to go to. A lot of y'all are single. But a lot of y'all don't even see your kids. A lot of y'all don't even show up to the family reunions, the family cookout, Thanksgiving functions. And then if y'all do show up, y'all don't even prepare any dishes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't even prepare anything. So, and that's if y'all show up.
Mhm.
So, talk about I need to make it home to my family. What family? So, I just feel like when men talk, they're talking in code and they're not really saying what they really mean. When they talk, and I've learned to kind of try and decode, what they really mean. Because how many times have we seen a man say something and then do something else? They'll say, "Oh, we don't like women with hair weaves and makeup and all that other stuff," but yet their Instagram follow list and their social media follow list, they're following nothing but a bunch of women with plastic bodies and hair, makeup, and weave and this, that, and third. So I just feel like it's an ego thing, and this is how I feel. I deep down inside, like I feel like men know that, I guess it's like an unwritten thing for men that, for you to be a man and stand there and not do anything, you look cat, you look, you know what I'm saying? You look pathetic. So that's why I feel like the guys who are actually out there have not come out. Because how embarrassing is that for, like, even despite what they say publicly, like low key between men, like that is embarrassing for a man, especially with how super viral this situation has gone. Yeah, that's embarrassing. So I don't think the men who are actually out there are ever going to come out. And I'm praying that we find the guy who actually threw the brick, because he's probably never going to want to get found out, because this situation again to me went super viral. And he also looks like a punk for throwing a brick at a woman for not giving a number. So that's still, I do believe that's still a thing for men where, they're like, come on now, man, you look weak. You look weak for doing that to a woman. And I'm getting ready to land my plane. But yeah, those men still have that thing where they know that these guys look weak. And then I'm just exhausted at, it's hurtful to me as a black woman to where, I have went up to bat for black men and have not asked any questions. And then once I started to notice the lack of reciprocity that the men have for us, I completely stopped. I only support women. I only support children. And if the men want support, they're going to have to go to each other and figure it out on their own. Cause it's just like, I get on these panels and these men are finding every single reason to figure out why she deserved it and this, that, and third and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh yeah, we women need to support each other. So that's it.
Cache, change your layout because you got a request.
Okay. All right. So,
Yo,
go
B,
ahead,
you wanna
BG.
go?
Go ahead, BG.
I've seen some of it, well, enough of it, about the young lady that got hit with the brick. Um, I'm gonna say this: if I was there, I would call the cops.
Uh
Um,
huh.
as far as men being jeopardized, I probably would not do that. I don't really know the whole situation. I do know the man from what I see. The man got a brick and he trying to hit the young lady in the head.
He didn't
So,
try. He did.
well,
Yeah.
well right, right. So,
That's why her face locked up like that. But yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, I'll do the best as I can. Um, but if you're asking me to step in the middle of it, I would not do that.
Mhm. Okay.
The
So
reason
far,
why,
that's been every man's answer. But go ahead. Except for maybe five black men and one white guy. So yeah, go ahead.
yeah, well, the reason why I won't do that is because I don't know what the altercation would turn out to be. See, I could try to do something to disarm him, but at the same time, the prosecutor can get me for something else. I don't know. It is what it is. All I know is that it's wrong. The dude shouldn't hit the chick. I don't care what she said. She was trying to get the dude number, slapped him earlier because I heard that, and then I also seen a couple of videos of them with two dudes, and one dude said he told a dude to put down the brick, and then the other dude, I think he was African or something, said he called the laws. I don't know all of it. What I'm saying is that I'll do the best I can do, and that's about it.
Mhm.
That's
Well, at least you would have
all
did
I do.
something. I mean, you know.
I
Um.
wouldn't just walk away.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say something, and if I feel that maybe I can grab that dude hand or something like that, I'll probably do that. More likely, I will. I mean, but if this dude is picking up a brick to hit a female in the head, I don't care what color she is, but if he's picking up a brick to hit that female in the head, I know he don't give a fuck about me. I do know that. The dude got to be out of his goddamn mind to just hit a female, because most, on average, it's crazy to hit a woman. So I feel that the dude maybe can be out his goddamn mind somewhere. So if I can get a chance to subdue the dude and for the laws to get his ass, that's just what it is. But will I risk my life? It's definitely no. I'm
Okay.
not risking
Okay.
my
So
life.
so far the answers I like I said I've heard have been, that most men would think about their safety first.
Right.
Even if they were able to assess the situation and do something about it, they still wouldn't because they would be too kind of scared to do it. So, all right.
Hold on. So,
Who else wanted to
that
speak?
can I say something real quick? One more thing,
Uh,
sweetie,
uh-huh.
if you don't mind.
Well, you just okay. Well, make it
One more
short,
thing.
cause I want to let other people
Well, no,
speak.
I'm just going off,
Mhm.
piggybacking off what you just said.
No, you
Just
know what? No.
because,
Can we let Aida Baker speak or Shea Butter? I don't know who was here first.
yeah, ma'am, yeah, ma'am,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah, ma'am.
think Aida, and then Shea Butter. Yeah.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you
letting me up.
for
I appreciate it, sweetie.
Thank you.
thank you for letting me on.
Thank
Yeah,
you for coming up.
there's the same answers have been happening with guys, especially in our community, saying the exact same thing. What about, I don't know what he would do if he would hit her. Most guys who hit females are actually scared of men. That's why they hit females, but we're not, gonna stand on that. And they like to bring up the fact of her videos and saying, well, she had a video talking about that black women are the protectors in their community. And so since you want to be the protectors, then protect yourself.
Mhm.
A lot of these men that keep saying that, clearly y'all haven't done any looked at her profile. Y'all just went to the first one that you felt was going to justify the fact that that happened to her, because she actually had videos talking about how black men needed to be protected too from
Mhm. Mhm.
cops and everything. That's what she actually had videos about that. She was actually talking
Right.
about how that needs to stop happening in the community to black men. But none of y'all want to say that, because if y'all would stick on that video that she did talking about how black men need to be protected in the community from YT supremacy, it would make all of y'all arguments sound stupid, because
Right.
she was actually standing up for y'all. And the funny thing is, in that video, when she said what these cops and them do is they go into your social media page and they try to find anything that's going to justify why they did that to them. Y'all did the exact same thing to her. And
Yeah.
she said that you will find that cops and them will find any reason to justify as to why they use excessive force on these people, on black men. Y'all did the exact same thing to her
Mhm.
because she said that black women protect, or women are protectors. You proved her point. And
Mhm.
then you all proved her point and then all said the same thing. Well, if you're not my family, why would I protect you?
Right.
That's
Right.
it's coward. That it's just coward. You don't have
Yeah.
to. You're acting like somebody's telling you to stand in front of a pew pew for them. They're not asking you to do that. But be a man. Say something. You see something that's about to happen to a female, you could say something. Don't just stand there and then when it's all done, be like, oh well, what am I supposed to do anyway?
That's that's the only answer they've been given, and I have a clear cut comprehension that they really wouldn't. They don't believe that we're worth assessing a situation and helping in any way. So yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I followed her for about a year, and she has a lot of activist videos. She talks a lot about black men. She actually was kind of like on their team.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't a pick me. She was still a free thinker, very independent minded. She never downplayed other women, but she went very strong and very hard for black men. And that's why I was confused when that lady came up earlier. I think
Exactly.
her name was Nine or something. And she was, trying to say, well, I seen a video about her. Like it was like everything was kind of against her and kind of trying to downplay what she'd been through, saying that she was African. Pretty much the same talking points the men had. And that's why I called this live the dangers of a pick me because there are women who will justify what happened to her, that reinforces what the men are doing and it
Absolutely.
encourages them. It's very dangerous.
Absolutely.
Um,
And clearly they don't see that.
mm-mm.
All right, so can I go now?
Um, if Shay, ask if you can ask Shea Butter if she, Shea Butter, do you want to let him go first?
Do your thing, love.
All right, go ahead. The only motherfucker.
Yeah. So the only thing about this situation is I don't really like how everybody's pinning this against a black man. I challenge all of you to go watch the video back. And it's funny because those guys that she said didn't do anything weren't even there at the time of the incident. So, like, what could they have done?
How does that
You
make
know what I mean?
sense? They were
They
standing
weren't
right
there.
there. There,
No, I
I
got a video. I could
we
send a
definitely
video to
didn't
you.
watch the same video, my guy,
No, watch it
because
back. They were in the background, like, where's the brick? What you
they were
talking about? I
there.
wasn't
They were
here. I
there.
just got back from the
They
gas
were
station. I
there.
wasn't here. Where's the guy? He
They were there.
already
And the Jasmine Sherman says one of the men that were there just standing there, he made a
Yeah,
video confessing that he was there, so they were
one of the
there.
dudes
that's the
that
guy
all these
with the
guys are
glasses.
sticking to, saying, "Oh well, she was a troublemaker." This video that y'all keep talking about, that guy that said she was a troublemaker, said that they were all there. So if y'all
Yeah,
want
I'm
to
not
point
talking
to, oh,
about
she was a
that guy. I'm
troublemaker,
not talking about
if
that
y'all want
guy.
to
I'm
take that
talking about the
part,
other
then you
dudes
got to
that
take
was
the part
in
that he
her
says that
video.
they seen it.
He was there. I think it was Lower or somebody like that. He has the video of the guy,
Yeah,
and
not
actually,
him.
The
I'm talking about the
guys who,
guy she
the,
recorded and said all these black men standing
listen,
ain't
the
did nothing.
only, the guys who helped her and waited with her at the police is the guys you're talking about. They weren't there
Exactly.
when it
Those
happened.
are the
The
guys. And
guys
they were the
in the
ones that
video,
called the police
hold
on her.
on. The guys in the video who she's talking to and she say y'all just stood there is the guys who didn't do nothing. And the
mhm,
little dude that's going around talking about he was there. I don't believe he was there because if you look at the video,
He was
you
there.
can't
He
see
was
any
not
of
there.
you can't hold
He
on.
wasn't
You can't see any of their. You clearly cannot see their faces. So and people asked him where his proof. Because he said he has proof. So if he has proof, and you don't want people to be looking at you in a bad light, why hasn't he dropped the video yet? Because he say he got
No, I'm
proof.
talking about the other guys that she recorded and said, y'all gonna just stand there and not do nothing and this, that, the third. Them guys already
Those
got their
were
video
You're
out
you're
saying
not
and they
you're
love.
already
not
said they
listening.
weren't
You're not
there at
Love.
the
listening.
You're
time.
saying the only. Because what point are you
We
trying
just
to make?
separated.
They said they weren't there at the time of the incident. So what did
I
they
just
help them
said
with?
that, sir. I just agreed with you. I just told you there's two men who was not there when the incident happened is the ones who helped her. But in her video, she's talking to the group of men who were there.
Oh, and said the club owner spoke out on it too. Oh
Exactly.
So what I was
shit!
gonna
Two of the
say,
guys that was
let me
there
let me
actually work at
let
the
me say
club.
real quick about what the club owner said.
What did he
So
say?
that guy that came out initially in that video that I had stitched with the guy that came out and said he was there, and I basically called cap on him. The club owner had came out and said that that guy is lying and that he wasn't there, and that when the incident happened, the incident I believe didn't happen in range of like where the club was at. The club owner is not saying that the incident didn't happen, but the club owner is saying that that guy was not there when, you know what I'm saying. They didn't see the
Yeah.
guy at all there at the time or on
Yeah.
any
Oh,
cameras. So
okay. So
that
he
guy
was
that made that
lying.
video saying he was there, I knew he was capped from the get go, and he's been hopping from live to
I
live
think
to
we all
live,
knew he was cat.
collecting cash app and money. So this is just a
Yeah,
money grab, and he's
he trying to
not
get people to
innocent.
pay him for the video. He trying to get people to pay him for the video that
Yeah,
he
he
quote
I
paid
wonder
for
how
unquote.
many
that
guys.
video.
I
He
wonder how
probably
many
is
guys
still.
actually paid him for it.
Yeah,
But
and
that's not the
the
guy
guy's
I'm
name is
talking
Will. The
about though.
guy's name is Will Talks. And then the other thing is, if you haven't watched the video of the young lady who the girl put like the girl put the slapping video, she put in there in the description, I believe, that it was a skit and they got paid for it, and she's not even wearing the same clothes, and we've already
Mm-hmm.
hashed and rehashed this, but for some reason people hate us so much, hate us black women so much, that they keep continuing with the lie even though it's been dispelled multiple times. And this is a constant problem I see. It doesn't matter how many times we dispel lies and tell these people that the things that are being seen is lies and not true and provide evidence, they keep repeating it, and I don't understand why. Like, that's it.
Because they don't like us. I mean, even the ones who really do, who, who have shown us kindness and stuff like that, there's always going to be something in the back of their minds or subconsciously that makes them feel like they're better than us and that we shouldn't speak up about anything. I mean, we have to protect ourselves. Black women have to protect black women, period.
I have a controversial question, and I was in the audience, and you made a comment, host, and that's what made me think about it. What if some of this hesitation is in the epigenetics, right? If we look at slavery and what slave masters did to individuals that were femme presenting and the lack of ability to do anything to assist those individuals, is it possible that it is something that is potentially ingrained in their epigenetics now? And I'm really genuinely sincerely asking. I'm not trying to be a pick me, I'm not trying to justify. I genuinely wonder if they're not able to help us.
I have to agree to a certain extent. And I'm the furthest thing from a pick me. Like, I can't, like, I'm the furthest thing from a pick me, but I have been thinking that there may be to where we just don't have children with those type of men who move that way. And me personally, if a man is a punk and he just gonna stand by, I'm not having no kids by him. I don't date men like that. I don't date dudes that don't line up somebody if they see a problem or get a problematic male in check. And that's what I think it is. I think this may be stemming from slavery. I'm sorry, Shea Butter. I apologize. I shouldn't be talking. I should let somebody else go.
I just think, Shea Butter, you can speak, but I just wanted to say something. I just think that they really are very selfish and don't care about anybody but themselves. Very, very simple. Um, because whatever is in their genetics will be in our genetics because they come from us, right? So, but that doesn't stop us from protecting them. So, go ahead, Shea Butter.
So in, I've been in multiple lives for the past. All I'm seeing is the women. A lot of, well, I'm seeing they're older women, but I'm saying the women come with this get down or lay down type of mentality, and then the men are coming with, oh well, get you a pew pew, get you strapped up, so on and so forth. So I'm like, so y'all's resolution is to unalive y'all? Like, hold on, I'm legit confused. Like, that's y'all solution? You telling us to harm you when you're literally saying, like, I don't get it. It makes zero, and I do mean 0 sense. So it's just like you got people saying that, like, oh girl, she deserved this and that. You got people that's, oh well, then their community they might do this. Like, what? We in America, baby. This was Houston. I'm from Dallas. I don't know about y'all, especially in Houston. You roll up on a gas station if you want to, they gonna walk your ass down. You hear me? So it's just like where, like you gotta, where does it stop? At what point? Because unaliving y'all is not gonna be the solution. Then it ain't gonna be none of y'all left.
The solution is going to be men are going to have to talk to men because they keep trying to
Yes.
tell us what to do. They keep trying to tell us we have to dress different. We have to talk softer. We have to not go outside at night. We have to not go to the gas station. We have to do all these things women do. But all of the even when we do all of these things, we still are attacked, raped, unalived. So the
Mm-hmm.
solution is going to be men have to talk to men because at this point, women
Absolutely.
are like, I'm gonna have to protect myself. So that means if you put your hands on me, I'm gonna have to protect myself.
Right. And a lot of
Yeah,
the men
that's
are
what
even
we
saying,
living
well,
in.
I'm going to only protect my own. I'm going to only protect my own. And it's like, I ain't trying to be funny, but you ain't always going to be attached to your own by the hip. So if somebody knock the Sonic coins out me, Mo, you going to want somebody to stop it, or you going to expect for somebody to do something. You're not going to want them to just sit
Mhm.
back in the cut and just be looking, right? Then there
Yeah, the
has to
first
be
thing they
some
would
type
say is, ain't none of y'all did nothing. Same thing that black woman said.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
None, they stood by and did nothing.
I was saying the
Somebody
same thing. I
started
was
stop
listening to them
stuff.
talk, and I was saying the same thing that y'all are. These men are creating their own destruction because you're saying things and you're loud and loud about it. Oh, I would only do it if it was my daughter, my da 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 da. And my daughter wouldn't talk to no man like that, and this, that, and the third. And I ain't protecting nobody. Yous are loud. Yous are loud, and yous are telling other men this. And it's going to be real sad when the situation's reversed because this is your mentality and this you're screaming it out to everybody else, and you got a whole bunch of other men agreeing, saying, "Yeah, that's not my girl. I ain't helping her. That's not my daughter. I ain't helping her." Da, da, da. You're gonna be upset if something happens, and all those men are saying the exact same thing you saying. Well, what am I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do to like? You're gonna be mad. You're gonna be like, why none of y'all help?
Now think about it like
Because
this.
they thinking the same way you thought. That exact same mentality is what they got.
I don't think they think of it like this. What if it's your son? You telling us to do this and this to these men, right? What if your son approached somebody and asked them for their number and he done scared the crap out this girl? Now she done now your son, hey, you gotta bury your son now. You know what I'm saying?
Who,
Like,
who talking? Is that Shea
yeah,
Butter?
Shea Butter, we can't hear you.
oh,
No, I can hear her. She just sound like somebody else. That's why I was like, she sound like Miss Andrews. That's why.
I got a
I'm
question for
sorry,
everybody on the
I
panel,
moved the
though.
phone.
What you
But
say?
I'm
I got a
saying,
question
like,
for everybody
I
on the
don't
panel.
think people understand, these men understand, like, you realize you lining your son up. I don't think you realize that's what you're doing. Because think about it. Y'all telling the man telling, okay, do this, do that, get strapped, just give him your number, just do this, do this. You telling your daughters to comply, right? Get down or lay down. And you telling your sons, like, think about it like this. If your son was to approach this girl and he done scared her, now she done, you know what I'm saying, did something to this man. Like, look at what y'all are teaching our kids, bro. Like, what? Where's the
Yeah,
real
they don't
solution?
see they setting up their own
Yeah,
demise.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they
If
keep.
you could hit a woman, you deserve to get shot, nigga. The fuck?
Pew pew.
Pew pew.
That's why you tell them, like,
PB.
get them straps, shoot these
Can
bitch
I
ass
just say
niggas.
something to PPLB? The
I
concept of
was just about to address
okay,
him.
please do, please do.
I was because he said so. I'm going to help a woman getting beat up by her man. That she's going to turn around and go back to. Y'all keep using that point when these women who are having these situations are not with these men who are attacking them. So stop using that because that's not what's happening right now. We know that there's domestic violence situations, but these women like Carlisha Hood in Chicago, like this young lady, these are not their men. These are not men that they're going home to at the end of the day. These are
These are men they even
perfect
know.
strangers. They don't even know.
And
So
not
please
not
stop using that.
But
For
even
real though, I
even
feel
if
like
they
y'all being
had to look
unfair
at
to the
that, we
men
have to
though.
look at the environment, right? Like that whole concept of keep the home together. You gotta forgive. A lot of that comes from the patriarchy and Judeo-Christian values. A lot of that comes from people being layered and trapped in relationships and having no way out because they don't have the financial means to do so. There's more to that statement, sir. And I hope at your big old age you would know that.
So what was the question you had? The only named a motherfucking name?
Yeah, so I was gonna ask, like, ain't none of y'all females had a dude ask y'all for y'all number before?
Women. We're women.
Yeah, like every woman. I would like to assume that that's a pretty normal thing. Like dudes ask females for their numbers all the time, but ain't
Women.
none of y'all getting hit in the faces with bricks.
We might not be
Same.
getting hit.
So I
A
don't
lot
know
of
what
us may not be
that
getting hit with bricks, but the women are getting called bitches and hoes. Women are getting slapped. Women are getting grabbed. Women are being followed to their car. Women are being unalive. So yes,
followed into
it
the
happens more
restaurant.
than you would like to think it happens. That is why women are now afraid more and more. And the way that these men are on these app talking and being louder than the men who don't do these type of things, that is why women are now fearing all men because we can't tell the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a few times where I had to give my number or kind of like maneuver my way out of a situation to make it seem like I like the guy in order to get home safe. It's been a few times. I've had to fight men off of me, after telling them multiple times to stop. Um, I had to knee a man in the groin, in order to get away from him because I told him I did not want to have sex. And I told his guy friend, and he roughed him up a little bit, but they went back to being besties afterwards. Like I really honestly think that men really just don't care about women enough. I you know to stand up nowadays, especially in this time. So again, like I said, women like me know that they'll have to protect themselves. You know what I'm saying? We know that we have to take self-defense classes. We know that we have to search for boxing classes. We know we have to exercise and work out and be extra strong just in case we have to defend ourselves. Um, yeah, we know we have to have our own education. We know we have to have our own jobs, right? In order to pay our bills and rent because who's going to do it if we don't, you know? The men are already telling us we need to protect ourselves, so common sense is to go ahead and get our money, you know. So yeah, we already know we have to do these things.
There's a reason
Um,
why females tell each other that if a guy asks for your phone number, just give it to him and then block him after you leave and give them your real number.
women.
Because there's a whole, I'm sorry, I meant women. My bad. There's a reason why women are telling each other to do this. Just give him your phone number and give him your right number because he might call you while he's standing there. And if you give
But
him the
that's
wrong
not
one, then
true.
something might happen. There's a reason why these conversations are happening. There's a reason why women know to do this
But having
because
some
it's not like
still
nothing's
not safe.
happened. Enough
You can
things have
shoot somebody
happened
by
that
being
now women
honest.
know that they have to protect themselves. And okay, I'm gonna just give this guy my number, right? I'm gonna give him the right number because he might call me before I even get to the car. And then when I get into the car and I drive off and I feel like I'm safe, then I could just block it.
Your
There's a
advice
reason for that.
practice though. Like that's an unsafe practice that our aunties and our moms, they did the best they could, but that is unsafe as well because with the technology we have, your phone number makes you trackable and traceable. I understand what women said to do, but we are in 2023. We can't keep using those methods because that doesn't work. It puts you at further harm.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
to protect ourselves for sure. Like
Mm-hmm.
like the other day I gave this guy my number. He wanted to work on my vehicle. And this fool had the audacity to come all the way upstairs to my apartment and knock on my door, and I don't know this fool, didn't call him to come or nothing like that. He said, "Oh, I saw you stayed over here with such and such." These men are delusional. They're crazy. If I didn't call you, if I didn't send, don't come for me unless I send for you. They think they have the right to do whatever they want to do, and that has to stop.
You
Like,
see, that's what I'm saying. That's not every guy though.
it's enough of them.
That's
20 years
enough.
of
A lot of
dating,
them. That's the
20
world we
years of
live in.
dating, and every woman can't be lying. You know, every woman
That's the world we live
we
in. Y'all
come in
gotta stop
contact
shooting these
with.
bitches or
Look, we
stabbing
don't have to
these
put up with
bitches
your
or something.
shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't have
You
to
know what
put
I
up with
mean?
no man shit, and that's what we're saying.
At
And
all.
that's gonna stop. It's going to stop, whether y'all like it or not. Because again, we're not going backwards. We're going forwards.
Cause look at
So
it this
that's
way.
what we're saying.
I haven't gotten every chick I shot my shot at. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
And
and
I'm
you're
not
not
that
every
type of dude that
man.
hit a chick or fight a female or you know what I'm saying, or no other guy that I
Sir, the
associate with thinks that
high
way.
key, nobody said all men are like that. We understand there are people that are out here
Yeah,
that
so I
have
feel like
bad.
the
We get that.
generalization is hurting the black community,
This
No,
man.
first of
generalization
all,
is good.
nobody is generalizing anything, and if you can't comprehend that, that's just on you.
Nah,
We
look at the
can't keep telling
situation of the
you that we're
video is
not
causing a
generalizing, and then
divide.
you're telling us that we're generalizing.
This
Like,
video caused a whole divide. We're literally having a debate over this video.
we've been divided, sir. Where have you
So what are we
been?
You
supposed
know
to
what I
do?
mean?
Stop talking about it? I'm confused. Like, are you
He
want
No,
me
give
to
There's
us.
tell you
nothing.
what
that's
you
what
There's
I'm
said
been a
when you
saying.
divide.
said something?
The
Can he tell us
conversation
when we were
isn't about the
united?
guy that hit her with the brick. It's about the dudes that were bystanders. And they said they weren't even there at the time. So what could they have done?
Get off, sir. Please.
All right, no, they were there, but
He
the point
he's not
is
actively listening.
you're
There were three
feeling
groups of
just
people.
how you feel like you need to defend. You need to defend it, right? How you're saying, oh well, why would I do that? And you feel like you need to defend it. Nobody's generalizing it. You're doing that because that's how you feel. You feel like, oh well, I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel like any man that's defending this is a man that would have did that. A man that would have stood right there and said the same thing that they said. Would have said, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, and wouldn't have helped her.
But
Only
they
men that
weren't there.
wouldn't do anything. Only men that wouldn't do anything, or only men that would be the one to pick up that brick are men that are defending this.
Exactly. So the conversation should be
No,
about
no,
that
it's not.
guy.
You're in this
No,
having
it's not that it's
this
not.
conversation now, saying why are you generalizing all men? Clearly, I mean, you feel some type of way about it. If the
Okay,
shoe
okay,
fits,
okay.
wear
Let's
it.
slow
That's
down.
how I
Let's
feel.
slow down. Knock it
You
down a
feel
notch.
like you're
Knock
one of
it
them
down a notch.
men that she was
You're
generalizing. You're
Slow
one
you're
of
it
de-
down
them.
back to
you're
10.
defending those men the only
Nah,
motherfucking
I
end,
ain't
and it's
you
okay.
see what I'm saying? You
Listen,
see what
it's
I'm saying?
okay. It's
You see what I'm saying?
okay. No, you said you're taking what we're saying out of context. So,
Nah, Shorty, I'm trying to understand where you're
my
coming
name's
from.
not
Y'all not even
Shorty.
giving
My
me a
name up
chance.
top is the host. Is Cache Monet.
You see what I'm saying? There comes the old condescending type of demeanor
Well,
and shit.
listen. Who are you? Who are you? If you can't respect me on my panel,
Damn, bro,
you
I'm off
can't
this
respect
water,
me in real
bro.
life, and you're not somebody I would want to be around anyway. Thank you.
The kid, like honestly, he wasn't listening actively at all.
No, he was listening. It's just he's one of those. He's one of them type of people. He's one of them men. That's
He
why
could he couldn't have been listening. Y'all
a hit
told him
dog
three times
hollers.
it was three groups of people, three separate groups of people. Group A that stood and watched, group B the victim, and group C that came and later delivered aid. Y'all said that three times. Dab said it, the host said it, and you said it. He wasn't listening, man.
A
No,
hit
he
dog
wasn't
hollers.
listening. He purposefully wasn't. He was purposefully not listening because he just didn't want to. Like most of them
You
do.
said how
It
They
this
was
is
hear
going
what
to
they want to
affect his
you,
hear.
Shorty.
access
Like
to get
what?
back.
Oh, what he say? He said
I,
trying to understand the concept, then you get bashed. Well, if you feel that way, stay separated from women, black women, your whole life. Cause me personally, I really don't care. Like just like y'all don't care about us, I don't care about you. Like, yeah.
I just want to. So, where it's a good possibility. I don't know how old he was, but a lot of old when they were younger, even if they stopped, and or they probably still actively do stuff like that. And this was like a wake up call to them that there may be a possibility that they could be. Hold on, sweetheart. I'm sorry, I just walked through the door.
No, it's fine. He
Yeah,
called me.
there may be a
Yeah.
possibility that they may start suffering consequences for approaching women, and they're not used to that. They're not used to having to suffer any sort of consequence, whether it's pepper spray, a pew pew, a a taser or whatever. And then the other thing is that he knew what we were talking about. He knew what we were talking about, and like I said, he's just concerned about how this is going to affect him. He doesn't necessarily care about the girl getting hit with the brick. He's just concerned, like I said earlier, about how it's going to affect him and his access to getting kitty cat, because he doesn't want to walk up to a woman and that woman gets
Excuse me.
scared and end up causing some sort of physical bodily harm to him because of this situation. And then when he was saying, "Oh, this is going to cause a divide," I'm like, so what do you want us to do, to not talk about it? Like, sir, I have to go out my house every single day
We
and
we've
talk to you every
we've
single
been
day.
divided. Like,
Yeah, like what are we supposed to do? I'm supposed to just not talk about, like, I have friends who've been chased and another friend who's been hit with a bottle, and this is like a common occurrence with these men being aggressive, trying to gain access to us, and it's like not talking about it isn't going to help. And this is why I feel like this went super viral, because I don't think there's a woman at all on the internet or live that hasn't been catcalled or chased or harassed by a man. And it happens so often, especially when you go outside, and it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if your face is beat to the gods or if you're wearing sweatpants and a bonnet. Like, it happens to all of us.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
You have to smell good sometimes, and they talk to you.
Yeah,
That's what is
they have
cooking for
really
dinner.
really big noses. They can smell the dove, you know. But yeah, I mean, this live has turned out, you know, it's I think it's turned out really good. But it's what I've been saying. Like, I'm so nonchalant because I already know we're not gonna get what we need from them by talking about, you know, we're talking about, if anything, just helps us get these things out. I mean, because all in all, men will have to change on their own. Some will hear what we're saying and try to empathize, right? And then some will hear it and be like the other guy. He'll say, "Stop generalizing." You know, they just won't hear us because they just can't. That's how they're wired, and it just is what it is, you know.
They can hear us, they just don't care. Like,
Agreed. They don't care.
Right, right. And if you're actively not listening, you definitely don't care, you
So
know.
how do we, because I saw your title was about pick me's, how do
Mhm.
we stop other women from participating in our destruction? For example, like the tone policing, like even like, Sukiana and Sexy Big, Sexy Red, like there's so much from people who try to tone police other black women. How do we end this cycle or break it on our side, right? Women are smart enough to stop the BS, but what do we do to call them in or stop this? Like, you did a great job when that young lady was up here talking about she's not black. That woman is black just like we black. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
you did a great job in the moment. That's when I was like, I'm gonna follow this host. And I was like, you do a great live. But like, how do we collectively do that? You know what I'm saying? How do we stop our pick me's?
Now that's a question.
Oh, well, okay, before I don't know if you were in here when I did in the beginning, but I have had a 5-page format, and I read the whole format on how to identify a pick me, the things that pick me's do, the things that pick me say, um, and how they try to downplay other women in order to exalt themselves and look better, right? And at the end it said, try not to ever call a pick me, because the only way they're going to recognize the things that they're doing is by calling those things out accordingly. And when you call those things out respectfully and you point those things out, they may be able to rationalize what's been going on, or see or think about what they've been going on, or self actualize how they've been treating other women, because they may not know that they're a pick me. So yeah, I definitely did do a little research on that. But I just needed to hold it live. I mean, the ladies asked me to have it and said it would be a good idea. So I'm having it now. Some ladies who said they wanted it are here and some are not, but I had the live.
On the page that you read about pick me's, I didn't get that at the beginning of this live.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I went over it, and some of the men thought it was funny how I was reading it, but
But would you make a
uh,
TikTok video and then that way those of us that missed it could see it, or is that too much pressure?
okay, for sure. That's not a problem. That is not a problem. Cause I already did the work to create the pages, so yeah, I might as well do a video. I have no problem with that.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to add real quick. Thank you for having me up. I don't want to take too
Oh
much of your
my
time.
gosh, who is that? Oh, that's Quest for Wisdom.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't even know you were here. Oh my God, sorry. Go ahead.
So what I was trying to say was we got to look at it. There's no justifiable reason why that lady should have been here with a brick. That could have taken her life, right? So, she didn't trying to do harm to the dude, and I understand, like, why people, the divide is, but, people most likely said something, but nobody really caught all of that because everybody wants to push towards negativity. But I really want us to look at it from a macro level, right? There's a plan to
Thanks
dehumanize
for
black
coming,
folk,
ladies. I appreciate you all.
right? There's a plan to dehumanize black folk, and we are playing to that narrative with our division. So it's already been done on the men, right? With the way we do the music, with the way we black men being portrayed. Now it's the women's turn. So it's happening, and we have to
Say that again.
nip it in the bud.
You said with the music and the black men. Now it's the women's turn. What do you mean
With the
by that?
music and society, and you know how we already know there's the image of a black man, especially a black American man, is not a positive image in around the world, right? It's like looked at as ghetto, baby
Okay.
daddy issue, all kinds of stuff. Even with the narrative, in your platform, the narrative of men, right? Looking at like, oh, like nobody can be saved, like it's all men, kind of, like most men. So that narrative already is a negative narrative, right? And that's what's been shown. But all of this is by design, right? So I'm trying to let women understand, like black men have already been dehumanized. It's the women's turn to be dehumanized. That's why
So
you
you're
see.
saying that we weren't right there by their sides being dehumanized as well? I'm confused on that. Can you
I
explain
never said that.
further?
I'm not. That's not what I'm trying
You
to say.
said black men have already been demoralized. And then you proceeded to
Dehumanized.
say now it's black women's turn to be dehumanized, as if we weren't
Right.
right there alongside by their sides while they were being dehumanized and we were also being criticized. So I mean, I'm a little confused at why you're separating the two because we've always been going through shit together. So that's why I asked you to expound on it.
Right, because okay, if you see the narrative that has been pushed now, right? If you watch the movies, right, the shows, right, they're starting to show a black woman as more of a like that gangster mindset, right? That's as that thug, right? As on the female side of things, right? Before it wasn't that narrative, right? Like if you look at the music, right, the newer artists coming up, right? It's not a woman singing about, loving a man, how the man switched up from not singing about loving a woman, right? So you look at the shows that are being portrayed nowadays, it's geared towards women being very masculine. And that's a narrative that plays into the the mind of men too, because only black women are being called strong, independent black women, right? Other races of people don't call that, their women that, right? And that doesn't mean their women are not strong, right? So there's this push to is a general dehumanization of black folk, but you got to look at it from internal breaking down as well.
That's not
You know what I'm
true.
saying? Like,
What you're saying is not true.
okay, so
Women
okay,
historically,
so
women historically have been dehumanized long before men were, period, worldwide. And the black woman
I understand that.
historically has been dehumanized long before black men were dehumanized by black men. Long
Right, that's
before
true.
colonialism kicked in, black women have been dehumanized.
Mhm.
That is true. What I'm talking about right now, the narrative that is being pushed right now, like I'm not combating you, right? It's not, I'm letting you see, look at the bigger picture so we can work together and unify because everything is pushing towards this, for us not to be unified. And I'm trying to have us see the game that is being played on us so we could open our eyes to really, you know, nip it in the bud because see the situation right now. This brick situation is a teachable moment, right? You see how you're saying, okay, the black men are standing by and they're not doing anything, right? But that's not the case usually, right? That's by default. That's not the case. People will be hollering like, "Hey, what the f? How you gonna do that?" Like stuff like that. Like people gonna like, and then it gets into a crowd stuff. You know what I mean? Sometimes crowd justice happens in situations, but now men are kind of just some men I'll say, are kind of just like, whatever, she gets what she gets, which is wrong. But I'm trying to let us see that there's a hidden hand that is doing this, right? That's why we're
Okay.
combating each other.
Okay. So I think that because black women um get the force first when it comes to oppression, right? Or dehumanization, because we have no real privilege. If anything, we have to make our way and create our way into society, right? After us, black men have privilege, the privilege of being a man. Okay. Um, I think it's the other way around, right? I think we've been dehumanized and beat up and oppressed for so long because we were also the last to get voting rights and any type of rights to our bodily autonomy at all. And just 50 years ago, wait, 48 and a half years ago, right? 1975, right? So I think we've experienced the hit, right, first. And now since we have adapted to the hits and we know how to move and shake around it, right? I think now it's starting to shake off to the black men. That's what I think. So, yeah.
Exactly.
I oh,
Actually,
sorry, you want to go
openly
ahead?
speaking, we actually speaking against it. That's the problem for them. That's the problem. We actually bringing attention to the dehumanization. Specifically, we're being really detailed about what's happening to us, and it's rubbing them the wrong way because
Mhm.
that means that you no longer we're not letting you have the power that you had over us. We're not letting you have that anymore.
Right,
And
because it's shaking off of us already. It's
exactly.
it's shaking off. So the stronghold of the dehumanization has shaken off of us. And like you said, now they can't have their way. Because
You're right,
yeah.
but I want us to see it from a mindset like we need each other. We are not gonna do this separately. It's not gonna
Actually,
happen.
that's not true. That's not
We,
true.
I'm,
We
I'm
don't
telling you,
need we don't need y'all. We don't need y'all. Y'all need us. Y'all
okay.
need
So
us bad. And this is where the problem is coming.
Yeah, the so benevolent.
can I make a statement to that, please?
Wait, are you still speaking, benevolent?
No, no, go ahead.
Okay. I wanted
So
to say
just this,
I wanted to say Quest before you speak. um, if black women are removed totally from the pyramid structure that holds patriarchy or supremacy up, the first one to fall is the black man because we've been holding them up, right? So I think it's very necessary for the men to fall so they can know how to get tough skin and learn how to maneuver in this upcoming future and how it's going to be, you know? Yeah, that's all I had to say, Quest. We gotta kick the birds
No,
out the nest. Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from, right? What I'm saying is to her, to the other lady's point. Now, just an example, a simple example of why black men or black women, why we both need each other, right? Just the fact of this scenario, this whole thing that happened with the lady with the brick, right? Black women need protection from men in general. That's normal,
False.
right?
No, I
So
False.
don't think.
every
That's a
I
lie.
listen.
every
Go ahead, benevolent. Cause
That's a lie. Men have never protected us. Y'all always
yeah.
been the ones dehumanizing us. We always
Mhm.
been protecting ourselves. Listen, Harriet Tubman would have left a lot of y'all behind, and she did. We have had black feminism long before white women kicked in and try to join in and took it over.
Oh,
So
thank you, fireman. I was shocked. I'm so sorry. I made a post where this young black man, he was about 18, Gen Z, right? Um, he gifted me. He filled my tank up today because I miscalculated and I didn't have any gas money for the month, right? And I was able to actually keep money in my pocket. And out of nowhere, he just blessed me, right? And that never really, rarely even happens, with men, period. I have to ask before I'm blessed. He said he could tell I was going through something and he just wanted to bless me and he wanted my day to go well. Now, I have hope for the future in these young men that are listening to us and hearing women speak, right? Um, Hearing different sides, right? I'm happy we have the internet because now our young men are able to make a clear-cut decision on whether they want to be a decent human being or a trash human being. And that young man definitely has a bright future coming ahead for him for sure, for sure. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I don't hate black men. I just don't understand how y'all can't see what's going on um with society, how y'all can be so ignorant, right? The men on this app to what's really going on. That's all. But sorry for cutting you off, Quest.
Nah, it's cool. So what I'm trying to say is we need each other.
Thank you
Whichever
so
way we're
much,
trying
Lady
to
20, for
we
coming. Go
whichever
ahead,
way we're
sorry.
trying to paint it, we do need each other. And if society breaks down, I could guarantee you that black women will need black men, just like we will need black women. So, there's no way. Look, we see when we smart
you know
people,
that we
right?
have
Look at.
we
Hold
have
on 1 second. Let me,
matriarchal society.
ma'am, hold on 1 second. Let me finish.
Let
Let me
let him, yeah,
see.
just let him finish, and then when you're
Smart
finished.
people, right? Smart people look at what works, right? And tailor that to help them, right? It's only stupid people that look at what works and ignore it and still trying to figure out what works.
Mhm.
So when you look at other society and see what works for them, you take the good out, you eat the meat, you spit out the bone, you take the good out of that and you use it to better your own society. And that's what we're failing to do. We think we want
Okay,
to just figure
good,
it
good,
out.
good. I'm glad you said that. What society? Give us an example of society where women are thriving with men.
Society where
Which society is thriving, where
Not
women are
swamp people.
thriving due to what due to team working with men. What society?
African society,
Which one?
that's one.
Which one?
Oh, Nigerian society.
Really? So Nigerian women are not on here complaining about domestic violence?
Not the majority, no.
Not the majority. Can you look up, you can look up the statistic of the domestic violence in Nigeria, right?
again, it's not the majority of folks. All right, it's
Listen,
not.
listen. You said that women are thriving in these societies. Yet you have a big number right here on TikTok of Nigerian women complaining about Nigerian men.
Again, it's not the majority of women. Most of the things they complain
Okay,
about
forget.
Nigerian men,
Listen, I'm
it's
not talking.
infidelity. It's not really abuse. It's not. That's not. So you're telling me most
So you know
Nigerian men
what
are
you
abusive?
know
That's
what
what
you
you're trying to
sound.
tell me?
Oh, okay.
Like you,
What I'm gonna
you
tell you is you sound like one of them. That's what you sound like. You sound like
like
you're
what?
not our ally. You sound like you want to have that power over us. You sound like you don't give a damn about us, and that as long
It's
as we cater to we and keep our mouth shut, then everything is gonna be good. That's what you sound like.
Did I say any of that? You
You
just put stuff
listen.
in my mouth, right?
You just said that Nigeria. There are societies where women are thriving with men, and you said the
Yeah.
example you placed was Nigeria. I just told you you can look up the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Look up the domestic violence issues and the women that are being attacked. Not even in and most women, most most women are being attacked not by random men, literally by the men that love them, and not just their
Their
husbands,
husbands. Look
their
at the other day,
And
brothers
they
and their fathers.
the same week this happened to
the
this lady right here. The same thing happened to another woman in South Africa. I think she lost the eye and her nose is broken. Um,
And this woman is African. What are you
mhm,
talking about, sir?
mhm.
You're talking
you
to
can't tell me the majority of African men or the majority of Nigerian men abuse their wives. Like, come on, that's wrong.
What? No,
You
we
can't say
never
that.
said that. We never said that.
Okay.
What we
Okay,
said
so what
was
are we talking about?
what we said is your women are also
If
complaining on TikTok about you. Also, that's what we're saying.
yeah, they complain
Um,
about infidelity.
and
Okay,
hold on,
that's usually
hold on. There's also an African tribe in Africa that's matriarchal. It's got tired of getting SA'd and
mm,
having their fathers sell them for cows at a young age. And they at the age of 18, if they have boys, the boys have are not no longer part of that community. You have a lot of matriarchal systems all around the world that are
yes, but that
thriving
doesn't mean they're abusing all these women.
without men. Look at that. They actually are
First,
better off without men. And they're
so
starting
all
the goal of the union
hold on, Quest and Benevolent. I wanted to hear Fireman speak. I wanted to know if he had anything to say.
Hey y'all, what's up going on? I did have a few things to say. Um,
Hey,
I was gonna say first and foremost, Cache, I did see that video that you posted of that guy. I thought that was awesome. I think what's big and something that we're not paying attention to, and when I say we, I'm talking about our community as Black men as a whole, worldwide, globally. Um, we have consistently um, put protection of Black men first
mm,
versus Black women. So a prime example was even though it brought all of us together, both Black women and men, when we saw what happened in Alabama, right? Um, everybody and their mama ran to that Black man's aid. I think it was maybe 20 seconds, maybe in 30 seconds or so. uh, People immediately start saying like, "What the hell is going on?" They started shouting, they started screaming. If they didn't physically interject, they said something, right? Uh, you notice that one guy he ran down that handicap ramp. It took him about another 40 seconds to get there, and then he started breaking it up. He put himself in quote unquote. I repeat when I say quote unquote because we're comparing the brick man. I call him the brick man that hit that woman behind you as putting themselves in danger. So he put himself in quote unquote danger and broke up fight with white racist people, right? And then you think about this: there's a young 16-year-old man who swam about 500 feet across the ocean to try and save this Black man. Now we're
not
going to
across
flip
the
the script.
ocean.
or river, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm not
I'm
from
across the.
Alabama. I ain't from
He
Alabama.
definitely did though.
And so you look at that, right? And that was a good moment. I am as they should, right? As they should. I was like, hell yeah, when I saw them videos, right? Now, obviously, we don't know what happened, and I have to use this ridiculous disclaimer because there is some validity in terms of people saying, "Well, what if she hit him? What if she did this? What if she disrespected him?" It honestly, it doesn't even matter because at the end of the day, even let's just say hypothetically, even if she slapped him, right? Let's just say hypothetically, right? Even if she slapped him, what what man in his mind says, "Okay, yep, green light. I'm gonna pick up a brick, use a weapon against this woman that just slapped me in the face, or whatever the case, or spit on me." I heard that she spit on him, which nobody has video or footage of that. There's no footage of these accusations, and possesses him to uphold that brick and whack her so hard that it bruises the side of her face, swollen, and probably there's a few fractures in there, probably around her ear. She was bleeding out her right ear. I'm also a first responder, so that was an emergency, literally. Because if he had aimed a little bit higher, or a little bit to the left, or a little bit to the right, we would be having a completely different conversation. She might have been unalive. So that's what I'm wanting us to understand. Black men are protected now by both black men and black women, like a thousand times over, versus the same energy where a black woman might be in a situation where she needs to be protected. We treat her the same way that these racist white tea cops, unalive, one of our own, unarmed, and you see how the news and the media drags them. Well, what did they do before? What did they say? What did they do wrong? It's the same thing. So
Mhm.
we need to ask ourselves as a community how we are viewing our women. Are we viewing them as a problem, or are we viewing them as our own,
Mm.
regardless of what happened?
Bars. And that's what I've been saying this whole time. A lot of our men do not see us as their own. But today, that young man, that 18-year-old Gen Zer, saw me as one of his own. And he said, I got your back. I got you. And before that, he called me good sis before I started recording because I was shocked he did it. But he saw me as one of his own. He saw me as someone that needed provision, that might have needed an uplifting for that day. He looked at me and saw my spirit was low. And he wanted to uplift it because I was his good sis. A lot of our men don't look at us like that. They get an attitude when we ask them for any type of help. I've witnessed men who make six figures and eight figures get angry and upset because a black woman asked them for some fucking food. But then turned around and gave hundreds of dollars to some random white lady, it, it was giddy about it. So I just don't think our men as a collective see us as their own. They see the whole society as their own, and which is why I said earlier, a lot of black men compare themselves to YT men. That young man that made that video saying he was there, which turned out to be a false video. He said she made a video slapping a YT man, and I was offended. She confessed it was a skit, and so did he. And why are you so riled up over a YT man anyway? Because he been slapping you in your face for over 400 years. So I don't know. It's just annoying. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. But they
Well,
believe she deserves this. They believe she deserves this, and yeah.
yo, sis, let me say something before I drop. Go do something. I'm still gonna, love to dwell on the fact of unity amongst black men and women, because without that, everything is just doomed. So at the end of the day, I know some folks want to just be on some, okay, they're done, trash, forget about them, no. At the end of the day, Black men is a responsibility of ours to protect black women. That's the duty of every man, you know. So
In
at the end of the
Nigeria,
day,
right? Okay.
yeah,
Um.
it is. It
Okay.
is, and also women as well have to stop the narrative of independence and all this stuff and saying that
Oh.
no,
Ooh.
listen,
See?
wait, let me
See?
about
I
Ooh.
told
about
you.
not needing a man. No, listen. About if you keep with this narrative of not needing a man, the younger ones are listening, right? This stuff is gonna increase.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have to protect yourself by yourself.
We are
So that's what
protect.
I'm
We've been
saying.
protecting ourselves. I live in the hood and I
Right,
protect
but
myself every day. What?
right, but obviously she couldn't, right?
It's
So
okay.
like,
She's gonna learn her lesson. She's gonna make
right,
sure
but why go through
she's
that?
gonna
Why go
it,
through that?
it
You're not
happens.
built
It's
for
gonna
that.
happen.
You're
Some of
not
us are
built to
gonna
go
get
get.
hurt like we've
You're
been
not
getting
built
hurt.
to go at
But
a
you know
man.
what?
It's not.
But you know
It's
what?
not your
We're
nature.
not gonna settle for y'all. Forget all that.
It's not
Now,
about
Okay.
settling. Ain't
now,
nobody.
but
Okay.
guess what it is? You
Okay.
telling
So
us that we gotta
It's a
give her
two-way
her
street.
power
You gotta
to
understand.
settle
It's a
for
two-way
y'all.
street. Is
wait
you
a
know,
second,
Nah.
and thank you so much
it's
for
a
speaking,
two-way
Fire
street.
Man.
You know, the same way men gotta
No,
settle,
it's
women
not.
gotta
No,
settle.
it's
It's
not.
the
It's
same
never been
way.
like that.
You know,
All right.
it's
All right.
not
Give
all
me.
glitters and gold on one side, right? That's how it works.
So do you live in yeah, do you live in Nigeria, Quest?
No, I'm in and out.
So sometimes you're there, sometimes you're not. But did you grow up there?
So yeah, somewhat.
Okay, so from what my intern, she told me they don't they're not able to get food stamps like that, right? Food stamps and cash assistance, they're not really able
They
to
don't get
get a
nothing
lot
from the
of
government. No.
right or government funding for schooling or none of that. So, she told me that a lot of the women have no choice but to grovel at the feet of some of the men, and some of them treat them good, and some of them treat them very badly. Some of them
No, a
starve.
lot of the women are educated.
So, right, and I would be too. I would try as hard as I can just not to be stuck up underneath somebody who was a tyrant. Poof, for sure.
No, it's not about
Um,
tyrants. Educated women are with
so
educated men and they build families. That's what I was saying, that the thing people should
yeah,
look at. You know, building families. That's the goal as a family. Raise the children. Make sure that they're better than us. That's the whole process.
yeah. If I couldn't eat or if I couldn't eat, if my whole existence depended on a man and he might be a good one or a bad one, I would be so scared. Like I would be so scared. So I don't blame them for getting their education wherever they can, for sure.
No, we promote that. We promote education.
Hmm.
We're not holding anybody back. It's beneficial to the entire family.
I have a
Yeah.
daughter. I have a daughter and a son, and I'm so grateful that they don't want to bring no children into this world. My son is a feminist. My son would have knocked that dude out for certain because he know if he come to my house and I hear about something that he wasn't defending another woman, I don't care if he didn't know her or knew her, and I find out that he knows I'm getting on his nerves because ain't no freaking way. I'm 5'4", and ain't no woman in front of me getting hurt by another man just and I'm not gonna do anything about it. Shit. You could call police, but I don't even do that. Me, I rumble. I rumble. You wanna rumble? I rumble. I'm gonna grab whatever I find and I'm gonna knock some sense into you. You're not touching any woman in front of me, period. And think you're
That's
gonna get
see,
away with it.
but do you see the disconnect between how the men feel majorly on this app, um, and some in real
Terribly.
life? Lord, oh God, do you see the disconnect? Like we're like, you're not about to touch my good sis, but the men are like, I don't know, she might have a boyfriend, I might get hurt, I don't know, he might have a pew pew, I don't know, like.
Even I was in a live with a woman that this
Hold on, hold on, benevolent, right? Let fireman speak. I don't know. He be coming in and out. He might leave. I don't know. What's going on?
Can y'all hear me? Sorry,
Now we can't
I
get.
was switching my headphones. Yeah, all right. I'll say this. I think, and this is because a lot of us men have had violent encounters with other men, so we're traumatized from situations that we've experienced as teenagers, as kids. Whether it's abuse from our fathers, whether it's or the lack thereof. Fathers not being there, interactions on the street, whatever you want to call it, right? I think that's where a lot of that comes from. And I want to say this and be very, very clear. Protection does not have to be violent.
Mm-hmm.
Protection can look like de-escalating the situation. It means like your presence is there, you standing in between, and just there's so many different ways to calm another man down from a man. Like if your presence is there to be like, hey bro, this ain't it. I
That's
ain't got
true.
no beef or no problems with you, but bro, this ain't it. You need to stop. Chill, bro. Go home. Everybody needs to go home. Talk them
Right.
down. Talk them out of it. That's protection right there. Period. And if the lady is still, benevolent and upset, and like that's okay, right? Because something just happened to her. You got to be like, hey, bro, look at me, like chill. I'm not here to try to fight you. I want you to chill. I want you to go home. I don't want the police. Like you got to like help them think. That's what protection looks like. Everybody don't got to be all hoorah rah like box me, my guy, box me. You know what I'm
I
saying? There's
live
different ways.
I live
Huh?
in the hood. I do that on a regular. I've
No, I
separated
got you.
men from I've gotten in between men fighting with other men.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and I never promote any woman doing that. I remember my girlfriend did that twice, and I had to tell her like, yo, he's 6'4", and he's 6'3". They're like 200 and something pounds apiece. You're this small. Do not ever jump in between two men fighting. I had to tell her that. She didn't listen the second time and she had to go to the hospital for a concussion. I kept trying to tell her, would he do the same thing for you? And she would never give me an answer. So I don't know why we keep continuing to protect people who don't reciprocate that protection.
And I definitely took heed to that a long time ago. I try to separate a big brawl broke out in a span of 3 blocks, and it was the first time I seen somebody's head literally split open.
Ugh.
And I was the only person, not just there were men and women all around, but I was the only person trying to break things up. And it got to the point where when I left home, I had to sit down. I'm like, while it calmed down a situation for a minute, it didn't work. They kept on fighting. And in fact, the day after, somebody got shot. And I knew it was gonna happen because it was way too many men fighting. And somebody ended up getting shot and another one ended up getting stabbed a couple of weeks later, all from the
Thanks
same
for
girl.
coming, fireman.
So at the end, and I really started realizing that, it we could get all in between, and like you said, I could have gotten hurt, and they definitely wasn't gonna try to protect me. So I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just saving my protection for my sisters and myself and my son and the men that are feminists in my family. That's it.
Yeah,
If I
that.
know you are a male feminist, oh yeah, I got your back.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the same with me. I already know a long time ago, and I'm gonna hold on. Well, yeah, I'm gonna hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna end the live in 15 minutes, but we can still chat. But I learned a long time ago when I was 3 years old never to ever ever trust all men. Um, I had to jump in sometimes with my mom, but so yeah, I already know I have to protect myself. I knew that from 3 years old. I already knew that shit.
I'm a
That.
firecracker. I've always been protected. I've been. I
Hey,
grew up.
Penny.
You know, I was born in the hood. I still live in the hood, and I see the BS on a daily day basis. I'm divested at this point. I don't even want to be honest. Don't if the only way I could befriend a man is if I know he's a male feminist, and I have to know that because you got a lot of males even faking feminism too. So I
Oh
have to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you
Mhm.
call those pick me's or something. It's that they're called male pick
No
me's.
pygmies.
Mhm. I got the template. I went and did my research on that, and they're the opposite of the woman pick me up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They pretend and say everything you like, in order to get in your good graces and to get a little nookie here and there, right? But
Mm-hmm.
they're really misogynistic on the inside, and they really hate women, right? There are some that mean it and some who don't. So you gotta be careful with that
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm. Sis, thank you for having this live. I'm definitely following you. We already know what
Thank
we
you so
gotta do.
much. Yes, protect
We
ourselves, and
know.
yeah, for sure. And thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for coming up. Thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate y'all. I promised a live for Dangers of a Pick Me, and I did add this situation because you know that was the motivation for the Pick Me Live. So I will be posting on my page how to identify a Pick Me, and I'll be just reading them off, and how to deal with them. And thank you so much for coming. Much love, and I will follow whoever follow me back. Have a great evening.